This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox Newscast. Welcome, everybody, to the X&C Podcast. I am your host, Colteastwood, and over here is my good friend, Mag, middle-aged game guy.
Yes.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
There it is, boys and girls. Have you tried the lasagna? Have you tried XNC? We are here live for another outstanding show tonight. Colteastwood, how you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. I've been playing Borderlands 3 with friends and that's
a lie. You don't have any friends. Yes, except for me.
It's been a weird
what's
week.
Up?
Been a weird week.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of
Tell me about it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of news that's been kind of like, that we got bombarded with the Nintendo stuff, and we're going to get into it. But everything's good. Everything's all good, actually. I make it sound like everything's going horribly, but it's been really good. We appreciate everybody being here. How are you, though?
Everything's coming up Millhouse, Colt. Don't worry about it, buddy. Everything's coming up Millhouse, yes. I am excited to be here, folks. We have a great show for you tonight. We got a lot of things to talk about and a lot of positive things, happy things on top of that, like that whole Nintendo mess last week and the week before and all the negativity. There's only so much you could take of that stuff. You know what I mean? I released 2 videos about it. I tried to stay as happy as I can. I was just not happy about the prices. But hey, what you going to do? But it is what it is. But got a lot of gaming in this week. Got a lot of things to talk about. So why don't we get into it? Colt, what have you been playing this week? What have you been doing?
All I can tell you is I was just messing around with Borderlands 3 and I picked up a little bit of Starfield, but this should be a time for you to talk because you put out your first official, I guess it would be official game review. What have you been playing and what'd you review? I'm anxious to hear your thoughts.
Well, I got to tell you, I did my first review today, Marinated Games with Mag. What that is, for anybody who doesn't know, I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. What I do is that I'm not racing to I'm not racing to be first with reviews. I'm not going to make the embargoes. I don't want to do any of that stuff. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang back. I'm going to finish the game, even if I finish it before launch. Great, but I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to let it sit, and I'm going to let it sit for 2 weeks.
Before launch?
Not launch. Launch. Sorry, it's the Canadian accent in me. Oh, I'm going to get it before lunch, eh? I'm going to wait a couple of weeks after and let it sit and let it marinate. No joke. I'm going to let it marinate and then do the review. You know why? And I talked about this before. I said, listen, let's say you and I go to see the new Transformers movie. Okay, Colt? You and I are sitting there. We're drinking. Okay. You're drinking Mountain Dew, sugar-free Mountain Dew, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
I'm drinking a beer, whatever, having some popcorn. We're watching this movie in IMAX and Optimus Prime is smashing things and this and that and Megatron's turning into a giant gun. And you're going, oh my God, this is the greatest movie ever. Like your teeth are shattering from the IMAX and all this other crazy stuff. But then all of a sudden, like you're like, oh, that was awesome. And then you go home, and then like 2 weeks later, you're like, oh, that movie wasn't so good. That was pretty crappy. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, that wasn't really that good. Or it gets better in your mind. You know how like when you see a great movie or play a great game, you're like, oh, that was wonderful. You go to bed, and then all of a sudden, 2 days later, you're like, my God, that was good. Like, that was really good. I really enjoyed that. And then more of it seeps into your conscious, right? That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to give the most genuine review I can. So what I'm going to do, and I did this, go check out my channel later, folks. I got my South of Midnight review up. So what I did is I initially gave it a 7.5. And then you're going to have to watch the video and find out what my final verdict was after a 2-week period of letting it marinate and sit on it. I played it for, 1.5 times. So that's my concept. So I played it 1.5 times. I rolled credits on it. Then I went back and I played half the game again to get some more thoughts and ideas out there and whatever. And then I did the review. So anyways, after the show, go check it out. But I got to tell you, there's something I am going to talk about this very briefly. I know we talked about South of Midnight last week, but there's a part in that game that I couldn't stop laughing and I wasn't supposed to laugh. It was supposed to be serious. Hold on, Cole. Hear me out, okay? Here it is. See, Preston gets it. Preston gets it. He says, Avowed got better and better the more you played. See, that's how you do it.
It did.
And then, so that's the kind of thing. So anyway, there's a part in South of Midnight, and I don't want to really spoil anything, but there's a song, and it's about one of the ghost sequences with the two brothers.
Yeah.
And like one of them treats one really bad and does some horrible things and this and that. And then the song plays as you're like climbing up the tree and this and that or whatever, and you're trying to like release the ghosts of the brothers and whatever, and release them from their pain. And I'm listening to the lyrics, and it's supposed to be like this heartfelt song, and I couldn't stop laughing. And because the lyrics were so ridiculous, it's like, and then Biff got a bear trap on his brother's foot, and he hurt him real bad.
What Meg's talking about is laughing. It's chapter 3 in the game, so anybody who's had access to the game, they're probably at that point or after it. But I had a couple of friends who were like, "That song was so amazing," and I'm glad you said this.
Stop laughing. No, dude, I couldn't stop laughing.
I'm so glad you said this because you and I are musicians, right?
Yes.
And I felt like, am I just kind of being overly critical because I'm a musician?
No, dude,
I really liked the game, but that song was so on the nose and it was so cheesy. It was like, he was my brother, I put him in a tree. He was my brother. He's not with me. He was my brother. He got in a bear trap. He was my brother. And now I'm gonna, like that. It was something like that.
Dude, it was hilarious. And then I'm listening. Well, it had the opposite effect because there were other songs in the game that actually did make me feel something like, oh man, that's really
absolutely
touching or whatever. Because there was some horrible things that happened to people or whatever, and you're seeing the ghosts of those horrible things that happened to people and their tortured souls and all that kind of jazz, right? So you get all that stuff, but that song is like, and then he nailed Biff in a tree, and then he left him. Didn't leave no lemonade, and it was hot outside. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
It was like you walked into a grade school and they're like, write a song. I've never written a song before. Yeah.
It was hilarious. You know what it reminded me of? You remember that movie, guys? This will really age us here, but you remember that movie like in the late 90s called There's Something About Mary? You know the one I'm talking about? Yeah, okay. And you remember during every scene with Ben Stiller and then like something would happen and then the camera would pan and there was the two musicians, the guy with the guitar and the guy with the drums, and he goes, and then he got his private stuck in a zipper and then they called an ambulance and whatever, and then they would sing about the scene that just happened and everybody would laugh and it would be hysterical. That's exactly what that was. And I was just like, I couldn't stop thinking about There's Something About Mary, and it was just so ridiculous. But anyways, other than that, I actually really enjoyed the game. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, you'll see my pros and cons in the video. Go check it out. And everybody's entitled to their opinion. I've had people saying, I hate it. And then other people say, I love it. Some people tried to turn it into like some kind of identity politic thing. I didn't really see that. I just played the game. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I've just moved on. But like I said, there are criticisms. It's not perfect. But anyways, I did that. I'm on the last level of Split Fiction, finally. And I'm also still grinding on the post-game or post-credits game of Star Wars Outlaws. Doing the Ubisoft grind, baby. You know how it is. Planet to planet, checking out all those question marks on the maps and all that fun stuff. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it because Ubisoft, for all their ridiculousness, tripping over their own feet with a lot of stuff, I got to tell you, man. They do make really addictive games. Open world games, a lot of fun. And then the last one I'm just toying around with, no pun intended, is I'm playing this little racing game, like a Hot Wheels racing game. Like I can't remember what the hell it's called. I got it for free. It was just available. And
Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Something like that. Yeah, Unleashed 2 or something, right? Yeah, I'm playing it and I'm having a good time, and I'm like racing in backyards and like on kitchen tables and stuff, and then I'm grinding XP and all that stuff, just trying to get to level 20, which is the top level. And then that's that. But
grinding XP, you say?
Yeah, I'm at 19 XP. But I think there's another XP that's a lot better. What do you think about that, Colt?
Well, I mean, 19 is kind of an off number. I'd rather like have a round number. Yeah.
I think something a little bit more even would be good. You know what number would be good? 4XP, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. 4xpgaming.com. You want to get the best energy drinks on the market? That's where you're going to go get them. You're going to go get them at 4xpgaming.com. Let me tell you something about 4XP Gaming. They've got another promotion coming up. They were just at that. The Games Expo thing or whatever in Arizona. They had a great time. A lot of great feedback. A lot of people there. I even had people DMing me pictures of their products, going, "Yo, Mag, check it out. I bought it. I love it." And they got a new promotion. It's another try before you buy, folks. You know what it is? You just have to pay the shipping. And you get your fancy bag full of 4XP stuff right here. Look at that. And can you imagine this? They also send you the 4XP shaker. Listen to that sound. Woo! You get the 4XP shaker, and you get. There it is. You hear that? You hear that? That's Fallout Repair right there, baby. You get all this stuff for free. All you have to do is go to the website, and all you gotta do is pay the shipping. That's it. Pay the shipping. They'll send the product to you for free. Try before you buy. You gotta go check it out, man. What are you doing? You gotta go do it. Another thing about it, and this is something that I was talking to a couple of people about, and one guy in particular, I'm gonna go find I'm gonna go look up his name, and I'm gonna give him a shout out in the show a little bit later. He was saying to me, he's like, dude, there's one thing about it that doesn't like there's like how like a lot of the energy drinks, they give you that one and done. Like you just do it and then that's it and then you're done, right? This stuff, because it's much lower or whatever, you can actually have multiple times during a gaming session, during the day, whether you're working out, whatever the heck you're doing. You can do all that stuff too. So you can have it more often and enjoy it more often without having to worry about any adverse risk effects. Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Like I already had one today. Yeah. That's.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Steven XP. Thank you, Steven XP. My goodness. Steven Xbox. Thank you very much. It says Meg is the best salesman. But anyways, no joke. Go to 4xpgaming.com. Go to the website. Check it out. Do the try before you buy. Look at this. You can get all this stuff right here, including the shaker. You can fill the shaker with all kinds of fun. You can fill it with jelly beans when you're done with your 4XP. Just fill it with jelly beans and drink that too. Or you can put jelly beans inside your 4XP. So you can have white gummy and jelly bean flavor. What are we talking about here?
I have to remind the audience that Mag is a heck of a salesman, but he's not a medical professional. So please do not fill it with jelly beans and just eat that the whole day. Your dentist will not like you.
Your dentist will not be happy about that. But anyways,
go
to the website.
If you have a dentist. Yes, go.
If you have a dentist.
Go to 4XP.
Just pay the shipping.
It's in the description right here. You can go right to it. Thank you, 4XP. Thank you so much. And thank you for... I wish I could have came out to the expo, and then as days went on, I'm like, oh man, I really wish I would have. I did a lot of traveling.
All good. It's all good.
2 weeks in a row, and I was like, oh, a third week. I just couldn't do it. But I can't wait to meet you guys someday. But thank you, everybody.
It'll happen, brother. It'll happen. By the way, Steven Xbox, your name is officially now Steven XP 4XP. Steven 4XP from now on. You might as well change it in the chat right away. And that's what you're going to be called from now on. Steven's always there for my live streams when I do the live streams. Your name is now Steven4XP.com from now on. That's how it goes, folks. Either way.
Shout out to some of the active channel members. You got an epic treasure in the chat. Steven 4XP.
Treasure's here.
Preston, who has been writing to me during the chat. I've been watching that as well. We got that blue number. Neil B. Oh, there's so many of you. Malik. Appreciate all of you here.
Special Nick is here. What is he doing here?
Having the best time ever. There's DeMarco dude in the chat as well. DeMarco's a good friend.
Lovely.
Yes, we appreciate all of you guys.
Yes, we do.
Normally we have a lot of fun here on Ecstasy Podcast, but we have to talk about the price hikes, and this isn't a worldwide thing, but PlayStation has hiked the cost of the console in Europe, New Zealand, and Australia $50 extra, or dollary dues if you're in Australia. But yeah, I don't know. People are upset about this. People are throwing fits. They're blaming They're blaming Xbox. They're blaming the Nintendo. They're blaming the tariffs.
What is the Xbox for? Hold on. Sorry, go ahead. Kid here.
Yeah, I know. We could dive into it a little bit, but my stance, looking back at it, is like when they say that they have to change for market conditions and the market environment and exchange rates, like we've seen Xbox jack the price of their consoles in Brazil because of the exchange rates, and I don't know. We are in a situation now where you will not see consoles get a steep discount or a reduced price in the generation. It's just not going to happen this generation. The question is, Mag, will Xbox turn around and increase the price of the Xbox Series S and X in those regions, or is
not this
PlayStation
generation
just kind of making up for lost ground? What's your thoughts on the price hike?
I don't see that happening. I don't see Xbox doing that. They're already having trouble selling the hardware as it is. I mean, just saying it like it is. I don't think that they'll do anything this generation. However, I can absolutely tell you that next generation, they will hike the prices up to market, what I would like to call market value. What I mean by market value, I don't mean that it's appropriate. I'm just saying that they're going to match what the other companies are doing. It's funny, even on the hardware side of things, someone here in the chat just said it. He said, oh, here it is. It's Preston. He said the lack of competition is to blame. He might be on to something there, that if you're not selling any Xbox hardware, they have free reign to do what they want. Now, the other thing is, too, the Nintendo Switch is not, Nintendo Switch 2 is not competing with PlayStation 5 in terms of their power and their audience. It's kind of a different audience. I know a lot of people get the Switch as a supplemental console, but at these prices, that's no longer a supplemental console. That is now an investment. Like for me, $800, dude. Like what are we talking about here? That's not something I just have on the side. That's not a side chick. That's your date. You know what I mean? That's expensive. And then when you're talking 130 to, let's say, presumably, if they do that physical copy prices up, it could be $145 a game for me. That's not supplemental. That's not something you throw in someone's stocking. That's an investment, right? But either way, the point is that they are able to do that. And like PlayStation, seemingly at this point, when it comes to their hardware, they pretty much. And you know what I would have expected? Actually, sorry, I got to backtrack here. I would have expected them to do a price hike right before GTA 6 comes out. That would have made sense, because then they'd be like, you know what? We'll jack it up $50 and whatever, because all the people that are on PS4s and Xbox Ones will not be able to play GTA 6. GTA 6 is only this generation, right? And it's not on PC either. So people who want to play that game will be forced to buy a console. And you know what? That's when they go, we'll charge what we want, because you're going to pay for it. And then all of a sudden, Take-Two is going to turn around and say, we'll charge what we want because you're going to pay for it one way or another. And it sucks. It really does. But I'm telling you, man, I really think that that's going to happen. And it's really horrible, but it is what it is. They said, what did they say this reason was? The exchange rate?
Yeah, market
is that what it was? They were saying
exchange rates in those countries or those regions.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, you know, who was it, Preston that said, or was it Steven that said, just one of you guys, you're probably the same person. No, one of you said that it was the lack of competition. And
that was Preston. Yeah, that was Preston.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Meg. Preston said it's a lack of competition. And I give that a thought for a minute before just speaking. And I'm like, maybe a little bit. Like maybe PlayStation's like, we're going to have to bring the price up in those regions because we're not. I'm going to pull this out of my rear end. I'm assuming that PlayStation still has a decent profit margin in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, but it's shrunk. And so they're like, we're going to bring that up a little bit. And maybe their thought process is, you know, we're not really competing with Xbox. We don't have to price compete with them at all. So how about we just do the price hike now instead of waiting till we absolutely have to? Maybe.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, it seems plausible.
Like I said, I know some people in the chat might be angry we're saying all this stuff, but listen, we're not trying to anger anybody or start some kind of whatever. We're just they're just spouting thoughts and ideas as to why this is happening beyond what the official word is. Because let's face it, folks, when it comes to corporations, what they say is pretty much never the truth. It's always just a piece of the truth, right? Yeah. So like think about what a corporation says if they release a statement. That's like the bud that's just above the grass. The roots is the truth, and that's what they won't tell you, right? That's where you see the whole picture, and that's where you're going to get what's really happening. But we're just speculating as to why. Ryan Young, listen to this. Ryan Young, longtime viewer, but I finally joined to support. Love the show, guys. Wonderful. And also,
thank you so much,
Steven.
And look at Steven changed
Xbox
his name.
OG. He changed his name in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. His name is now Steven 4XP, ladies and gentlemen. There it is,
That's
ladies
amazing.
and gentlemen. It's Steven 4XP. Go to Steven4XPgaming.com. Get your try before you buy. There you go. Anyways, let's get back to the show.
I got the grunt happy birthday, the grunt headshot. We give Steven 4XP the grunt headshot for change his name. And welcome, Ryan, to the channel. We appreciate you. Ryan, if you just joined the channel, you get early access to videos. I mean, if I put something out, hopefully if I do something Wednesday or my Friday video, you'll probably see that around 10, 11 o'clock your time if you're in the US or North America. And that won't come out till the next morning for most people. So you get to watch that early and write in the chat, third or whatever. But yeah, we appreciate you.
Also,
as far as the price,
being a channel member, sorry, I was going to say one more thing. As being a channel member, you also get a 10% discount on Colt and mine OnlyFans site. So if you go and check out myself and Colt on OnlyFans, you get a 10% discount on that as well. So
and we're doing plaster
go check
Paris
that out.
Feet this week, right? We're doing plaster Paris molds of our feet and sending those out. So those are great. I take an old sock and rub it once across each one of those, so so it smells authentic already. So thank you for pushing.
I'm selling my bathwater, by the way. Yeah. I'm also selling bathwater on my on my
that
YouTube
would be the
channel.
worst selling thing on the internet is a dude's bathwater.
How do you know? How do you know? I'm a very clean.
No,
I'm a very clean gentleman. I'm a very clean gentleman. Yeah. See, Ryan Young is already excited, man. His chat didn't even get. Happy Bomb just put out the 4XP starter kit, by the way, in the chat. Anyone wants to check it out.
Thank you, Happy Bomb. Appreciate Happy Bomb for being a great moderator and putting up with all the nonsense, and also for bringing in the super chats that you guys so helpfully provide so that we can have lots to discuss. I have to get one more slightly difficult topic out of the way because the rest of the discussion should be pretty fun, but IGN has an exclusive deal with Obsidian Entertainment and Outer Worlds 2 to show weekly content, interviews, and gameplay reveals for Outer Worlds 2. The very first one dropped last week, and in my opinion, it was kind of a dud. I'm a big fan of Outer Worlds. I already know this Outer Worlds 2 is going to be great. I'm just bewildered, if I could use that word for the first time ever out loud. I'm bewildered, Mag, that Obsidian chose to like record this 10 or 11 minutes of footage and say, here, IGN, post this. I thought it wasn't interesting enough. It was not paced properly. Like they could have shown a better segment of the game. I just was underwhelmed with this showing of Outer Worlds 2. I don't know if you watched it. Last complaint, before we dive into it together, is the massive screen tearing. When you move the camera, if you do not have your display synced with the frame rate of the game, it will like split unevenly, and it was split 3 or 4 places across the up and down the screen. I don't know. Did you watch this gameplay? Did you even look that direction?
Yeah, poor showing. I didn't think that was a good way to introduce it. Let me tell you something. I'm sure everybody knows it. You only have one chance to make a first impression, right? And that sticks with a lot of people. And the fact that we're bringing it up now, and we're pretty forgiving guys when it comes to the industry, whatever else. But there are a lot of channels out there that are not. And they are going to tear that, no pun intended, they're going to screen tear this apart. But oh my goodness, I can't even stop. Yep, achievement unlocked, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, they're going to, I know, I can't help myself. Hey, listen, man, dad jokes, we're both dads. That's what we do. We got to do it.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Dude Gamer goes, Colt just did the X-Vault hands. The screen tearing.
Oh my goodness. Listen.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. What's up, Mile High Magic? Hold on. I'm sorry. Mile High Magic has been a friend, an internet friend for probably almost 15 years. We used to be on the GameFly app together, and we followed each other for a long time. It's really good to see him in the chat. Sorry, go ahead, Mag. I derailed you 9 times.
No, all good. I was gonna actually. Someone else said something in the chat here. Chat that was very interesting. Loop73 here says, "What's the point of a deep dive in June if IGN is telling us everything now?" It kind of does take away, and that was something I was going to say. Then I looked down in the chat and I just saw that. The easy days. I also saw what you said. Anyways, what I was gonna get back to is that. What is the point? You're taking away a little bit of the impact of it. I think, in my opinion, that. If you're going to show I was about to say E3, my goodness. If you're going to have this June showcase or whatever, and then you're going to have a separate showcase for Outer Worlds 2, save it for the show. It's only 5 weeks away. Well, maybe 6 weeks. But either way, it's only about 6 weeks away. Save it for the show. Then do the IGN stuff after. At that point, you probably have a better viewing or a better vertical slice of the product without screen tearing and anything else like that. 6 weeks from now after they show the initial trailer and Yeah, right? And so I think that would have been a better option. That's just my opinion. I just think that they could have waited to the June showcase. They also have the deep dive that's happening in June right after it, right? And then they do that, and then have IGN break it down after. You know how like even like Grand Theft Auto, you remember they did that? Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, and they did the second trailer, and then after the second trailer, like once every couple of weeks, they gave you a little snippet of like what to expect in GTA Online, what to expect in the story mode.
Remember back that far?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember all those videos, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It was like a bi-weekly thing where they would show you little snippets of what to expect. Oh, you can golf a whole 18-hole golf course or whatever. You could play tennis if you feel like. You can go do this. You can do that, and they would do that after they did the reveal. So you got the maximum impact and marketing impact of the showing, get the fans excited, and then do the deep dive. By showing all this stuff now, you're deflating the balloon before you finish blowing it up. That's my thought.
Okay,
that's just the way I feel about it.
I'm asking,
nobody watches IGN anyways. Well, I mean, I don't really follow them anymore. I don't either, but they're still monstrously huge. Right?
Oh,
So,
yeah,
I mean,
there's
like,
16 million subs or something. I'm asking right now, if yes or no, are you excited for Outer Worlds? I am absolutely excited about Outer Worlds, too. I really
I'm
like
gonna,
the game.
you know what? I'm putting yes on this one because I'm willing to give the second one obviously more of a chance. The first one, I played it about 5 hours and I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why. It just wasn't. Just didn't click with me. But the second one, I'm like, you know what? Let's go back, reset, refocus, and go and give it another shot. Because sometimes you just need to give it another shot. You know what I mean? It's just, and then that's just, I don't know. The first one, I just, for whatever reason, didn't connect.
Yeah. I mean, it did really well, and I really enjoyed it. But the entire time, I'm like, it's missing these three things that you would expect being a Fallout fan. Like, you can't help it. Like, you play the game, it feels so much like a Fallout game. You're like, it's kind of missing that extra step forward, but it's still really great. And then I just got a little bummed when I saw this gameplay where it was a lot of walking, skulking around and looking and talking to the characters. The characters are great. They're always really funny and interesting.
Sure.
But
the humor is always on point. The humor was on point even when I played the first one. I enjoyed that part of it, but it just, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get into the gameplay loop. Just didn't connect with me. But but anyway, that doesn't mean I'm not going to play Outer Worlds 2. Because obviously, you know what the other thing about sequels is, generally speaking, when it comes to games, generally speaking, they take the weakest parts of the first one and they build upon that, right? They take it, they break it apart, and then they rebuild that foundation and say, okay, what didn't work this time? Or maybe the pacing was off. All right, well, we're going to work on that. And then, you know what I mean? So they take public feedback, they take fan feedback and whatever else, and then you build upon those weaknesses and you build a stronger product, right? That doesn't always apply to everything. Like usually in movies that doesn't happen. Usually the sequels minus, like, let's say 5 or 6 solid sequels out there, most sequels are actually much weaker. But in gaming, I actually find that the further they get into the series, they improve upon it, right? Which seems to be the better option. My God, listen to this name. This is the greatest name I've ever heard in my entire life. Gabriel Jesus Pineda Calcaño. He is from the Dominican Republic. My brother is there next week, as a matter of fact, and I was supposed to be there this year, but I'm renovating the house instead. So no trips to the Dominican Republic for me. But either way, shout out to the Dominican Republic for listening to XNC. We appreciate you, man. That's awesome. I love seeing people from all over the world. It's so awesome. Like even when you're doing shows and channels or whatever and doing live streams and like, hey, what's up from Ireland? Hey, what's up from Norway? And I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. I love that. Love that global community, man.
It's really cool. I remember when I was in my early 20s, I was in a band. We played in a bar every week. And I'm like, we're like literally playing for 80 to 100 people every night. I thought it was so awesome. But
it is awesome.
Now we get to talk to 80 or 100 people plus or whatever from all over. They're not just like where, you could reach them. I don't know. It's great. I think it's really, really cool. Purified Storm, thank you so much for the $7 super chat. Says, Colt, we need a Halo 7 reveal trailer this year with a 2026 release date. Thoughts? That's funny. I was talking to a friend about, will we see Halo this year? And we're going to dive into the Xbox showcase later on in the show, not long from now here for the show, but we haven't seen Halo since 2021. So it's been 4+ years since Halo has reared its ugly head. I think
I liked it.
I liked Infinite. I just wanted to make a joke because if Master Chief takes
All
his
right.
helmet off, he doesn't look like
in the show. He takes his pants off.
Yeah.
He takes his helmet off in the game. In the show, he takes his pants off. I mean, take your pick, folks. Which one do you want?
Let me rephrase that. When Halo rears its ugly heads, then there you go. There you go. Then you got that. I think we're due for a Halo reveal. I wouldn't know if it would be this year, but you have to wonder how far off that needless, pointless Unreal Engine 5 Combat Evolved port is supposed to be finished. I don't know. Knowing studios, that should take like a year to make, but it's going to take them like 4 years. But what do you think?
Dude, I don't know. I think they wasted a lot of time on the post game Infinite. Remember that? Like they were like the team was working on the multiplayer and then they made it free to play for a while, and then they were working on all these maps and game modes and stuff like that. And I think that took a portion of the team's time away from developing a new Halo game. And I like I said, this is just a guess. I don't really talk to many people in the Halo. And that was the other thing. They changed the name to Halo Studios, right? I think that they started working on the new Halo when they announced Halo Studios. So when was that? About a year ago, year and a half ago, something like that? When they announced Halo Studios
half a year ago, maybe.
Oh, geez, really? So I don't know, man. My gut tells me we're not going to see. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be wrong. But I just don't think we're going to see Halo for a while. I don't think we'll see it till like maybe next year. They might do a teaser, but not this year. I don't think so. I think that they were just they just said, forget it, burn it all down, sweep away the ashes. Let's build a new foundation, and then they changed the studio name. They didn't just change the studio name for fun. I think that was symbolic. I think that was a symbolic move of saying, all right, enough. You know what I mean? Enough with the stigma around 343. Let's burn, like I said, let's crash it and burn it to the ground and get rid of the ashes, and then build a new foundation. Rename the studio, give renewed fervor. For the love of God, get rid of those 18-month contracts that you're doing with these developers. You're not giving them enough, you know what I mean? Enough time to gain their stride with it. Just either hire people or don't. Like this rotating, these rotating mercenaries that you're doing is not doing anything for the game. But anyway, whatever. I don't think we're going to see it this year. Long story longer.
I'll add to that you and I've talked a lot about Halo Master Chief Collection. There was a lot of rumors about the Master Chief Collection getting its port to the PlayStation 5 and possibly the Switch 2, which I think would be a phenomenal idea. It would just print money, but I don't hear anything about Master Chief Collection. And the only thing I can actually plausibly rely on for an outcome for Halo is that Combat Evolved game to come out and be available to everybody on PC and consoles.
But, I think that they would launch that somewhere around in the range of when the new Halo game comes out. So, like, you get people hyped up for the new Halo game and then release it, like, within, like, a 6 month to year
You're
span.
talking about, like, a Halo 6 or Halo 7 when you say new Halo game?
Well, one of the two. Well, they're working on 3 projects right now. I know that. Okay. Much.
Thank you. So, elaborate on that. But 3 projects. Combat Evolved.
3 projects.
What's the other one?
Combat Evolved, a new Halo, like an actual new, like, whatever, Halo, and then an offshoot. I don't know anything about the offshoot, but I just know that they were entertaining the idea and working on an offshoot. It's kind of like a
ODST.
What the hell's it called? My God. Like an ODST or,
do you think ODST
or Halo Reach.
I think in the end, ODST was popular and successful enough. I don't know how successful it was in the beginning, but I think most fans would certainly want ODST to have its like sequel moment. I would.
Yeah, me too, man. I really enjoy it. Leo Zambrano from Argentina, beautiful country, buddy. Yeah, I saw, by the way, since we talk, and I'm noticing people putting where they are from different parts of the world listening to the show right now. Wonderful to see you all here, by the way.
Yeah, I'm seeing flags that I wish I knew better, but yeah, thank you so much. Who's Anarchy Threat? What flag is that? Anarchy Threat.
I didn't even see it. I'll find it. I'll take it.
It's up like 2 scrolls, but
I see it. I think that's
huh?
I hope they stop clowning Halo. I think that's Denmark. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I think that's what I thought too, but I didn't go to school.
I'm not 100% on that. Or Norway.
Or I did.
Denmark or Norway. I might be right.
Norway doesn't have a. You know what? We're just showing how much.
No, you know what the thing is? I always remember the flags because of the World Cup.
Norway
Whenever I watch
the
World
color.
Cup, I always see. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm getting confused because I see the same color. But
I think
Kirk Adams, thank you, buddy.
No, Denmark is just white and red.
Is it? Okay.
He's going to make us sweat, which we deserve to sweat for not knowing.
Come on, man. Help us out, brother.
Give us a
anyways,
hint.
Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us a hint. Jeez.
I don't like giving the answer given away. I always do that. Just give me a hint. I was trying to remember a game today, Mag. I will test you. There was a game that came out in like 2021 on Xbox. It's a really small indie. You play as a small fox with a shield and a sword. And it was always kind of compared to like a Zelda game. And I could not remember the name. And I told my buddy, I said, don't tell me, just give me a hint. And then he said it. Do you remember what the name of that game is?
Yeah, no. Crap. My kids played it when they still, oh man. Oh, it's Dominican Republic.
Oh, well,
why is that? Why that's a completely opposite end of the world? My God, Yodani, because that's Argentina.
Israel?
I know that.
Oh, that's Argentina. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Argentina. Like the little flags are so small, so it's hard for us to see. It's not like we're getting like a full shot here. We're just getting this little tiny thing. Yeah, my kids played it. What the hell was the name
Holly
of that
remembers.
game?
Holly remembers.
Oh,
Luke
the guys in
remembers.
the chat said it. Yeah, they said it. Sorry. Yeah, that blue number. You got it. Yeah, it's Tunic. Not Star
Tunic.
Fox, Rambo.
Silver Fox.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a cute little game. My kids loved it.
Yeah,
anyways, back to Halo. They are working on several projects at once. But that being said, like I said, I think that when they renamed it Halo Studios, I think that they just said, let's just take a breath, let's meditate, and let's start over. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're going to start the whole thing over. I'm just saying the philosophy of how they make the games and, you know what I mean? Like moving forward and just trying to go in a positive direction. I think they dropped the name 343 because of the stigma around it. That's just my gut.
No, I think they absolutely did. I think your gut is absolutely right. I'm going to engage the audience, and I don't do the polls as much because they get in the way of the chat until you vote. But do you, and this will be up as I'm typing it, do you trust Halo Studios? Meg, I'll ask you first. Do you trust Halo Studios?
I'm willing to give them a chance. That's all. I mean, there's no harm in giving it a shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll put yes on that. I'll put yes on that because you know the thing is like
pretty awesome.
Let them do their thing. And the thing is, once we play the product, then you'll know, right? But it's like kind of like I understand the concept. Like there's a really bad director out there. His name is Yui Boll. He makes terrible video game movies. Right? He made Postal. He made what the hell's the name of that game? The game with starred the girl. She's like a Nazi killer vampire chick. I can't remember the name of the game. Anyway, they made a movie about that, and a couple of other really bad video game adaptation movies. And then when you see it's like a film by Yui Boll, I'd be like, oh God, here we go again. But you know what?
I'll sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I'll sit down and watch it. You know why? I'll be like, all right, well, let me check it out first before I start. But yeah, in the back of your mind, they're like, oh God, here we go again. However, I'll give them renewed faith. How about that? I'll give them renewed faith. They got a renewed name, a renewed focus, a renewed studio. Let's give them a little bit of faith and say, all right, guys, go for it. And if you suck, then you're going to hear about it. You know what I mean? But if you don't, then we'll celebrate it.
And in the spirit of your favorite
Blood
studio...
Rain. Chris in the chat. Oh. Chris in the chat. He said Blood Rain. That was the name of the game, and that was the name of the movie.
Okay.
Kristana Loken was in it. She was in Terminator 3. She was the Terminator in Terminator 3. Yeah, you've been terminated.
9
said it too.
Blood Rain.
Yeah, see, the people in the chat are saying, absolutely, I trust them. Yeah, why not? Give them a shot. Give them a shot.
I do want to give them a chance. I'm going to err on the side of not so much trust, but I know with Pierre Hines running the team and with Bonnie Ross gone, there major changes have happened. But in the spirit of your favorite studios that you loved, a few years ago, not really being as trustworthy or as able to create great things. I just saw an article today about the Anthem team that folded into the Dragon Age Veilguard team. There was a massive divide between the Mass Effect 4 team, whatever you'd call them, and the Dragon Age team. Like they didn't get along, and they like inside they're a totally different studio between the two of them, and they hated each other, and they would go out in the parking lot and hit each other with chains and tire irons and pee in each other's shoes. It didn't go over well for them. Some of that stuff was not corroborated by the news media, but.
Yeah, they did. They also blew up electric vehicles too. It was crazy. It was a crazy time in that gaming. It was wild, man. It was wild,
pandemonium in the parking lot at BioWare Studios. Absolute pandemonium.
Speaking of pandemonium, whoever the hell owns the rights to Pandemonium, can you please make another game? Those games were so fantastic. Do you guys remember those games? Pandemonium 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 2 or 1. I can't remember which one. God, they were so good. Go watch a video of them, man. They're so good. Anyways. Back to the story. What are we talking about, dude? Are we talking about Halo?
In the spirit of not trusting your favorite and Halo Studios changing and teams behind that, we are going to talk about the marathon reveal because that, my brother, that was... Before we do that, I've got a short clip here of everything that marathon reminded me of when we got the reveal. You're looking at 2011's Bethesda Studios Brink, which was... Everyone was so hyped. The game came out and it was a huge disappointment. And I played it for probably 50 hours trying to find the greatness I once expected from Brink. And Brink is a first-person team-based shooter. It's kind of an extraction shooter. And a lot of the aesthetics and the idea and the concept behind it mirrors a lot of what's going on with Marathon. You may not see a lot of the similarities, but it always makes me think of Brink when I saw this reveal for Marathon. Marathon sent me a goodie box the other week. They didn't even send me codes. I'm like, why'd you send me this stuff? Like, I'm not even in the alpha. You didn't even invite me to the alpha yet. So, I don't know. Brink was, do you guys remember this game? Mag, did you play this game back? This is 15 years ago.
I remember the game very well. Can I say something that that some people might not be happy about, but I'm going to say it anyway?
Hey, we've been doing that all day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All day. We've been doing it for like 100 episodes. Brink looks better than Marathon, and it's 15 years old.
Okay, I'm going to rewind a little bit.
Like, that reveal to me was like it was just I'm just not into those shooters. I'm not into extraction shooters. I'm not into that genre. And the funny thing is, 4XP Gaming, stop it. I was trying to find a comment here. It's from Magnum. It's probably the funniest. I almost choked when he wrote that. Oh yeah, Magnum says he goes. Where is it? Oh, he says. Oh, there it is. He goes. Marathon looks like the practice level in shooter games.
Like the tutorial, like the VR tutorial level or whatever.
Yeah, it looks like a VR tutorial. Like, you know, when you do like the tutorial, like, and to reload your weapon, press the square button with R2 to do. You know,
the robot comes out and goes, "You're not pressing the square button."
Yeah, or you know what I mean, or press the Y button to change weapons or whatever, right? And I'm just like, it just did not look good. I mean, it looked like the colors were weird, the characters look weird, the environments looked drab. It just didn't. I mean, it was like all weird colors and stuff, and I'm like, what is this? It's just not for me. I'm not gonna, like I said, just not for me.
It's not for me as well, but I want to make sure that we're not speaking for other people. We definitely try not to speak for other people, but looking at this footage in depth even more today, I think this game's I think it's probably planned for the Switch too. I think it's a nice looking game, and games will look really nice on the Switch too. I think they're trying to get this rolled out to everybody, but we're going to look at the footage and talk about it. And I'm really grateful that Bungie thought of me as a creator and sent me the package. I got this hat, I got a t-shirt that I wore last week and everything. I just don't know how they're rolling out the access to the beta. Like, they were sending out codes to share with people. And I really would like to be able to some of our big supporters here on the show to be able to get access codes for the alpha to you guys if Bungie is able to send that to me. So, I think before we dive really far into it, Mag, I think there's a general consensus that we have to address, that people are just so quick to dismiss a game and they want to hate on it first. You're guilty until proven innocent. And I've tried not to follow into those footsteps, but the masses are kind of like, I don't know. What do you think? Did you watch the reaction of people, and what do you think?
Yeah, it was kind of, actually there were a lot of positive reactions out there, which I was actually surprised, because when I saw it, it literally did not move the needle at all for me. And I was just watching it. I'm like, okay. Like, what was that? Like, I'm like, okay, this is definitely not for me. It's Bungie, so you know that the gunplay is going to be good. The hit detection is going to be tight, right? Absolutely. It's going to be fantastic in that regard, right? But it's just the type of gameplay. The gameplay loop is just not my thing. I like first-person shooters. I enjoy them, just not extraction shooters. I'm not into that, and I'm not into other genres of games where there was one thing they said in there, and immediately my brain just went, "Oh God, no!" It says you have to complete objectives with everybody doing something or whatever to complete the objective, and I'm like, I'm out. And you know why I'm out? Because have you ever tried playing online with people? I'm not talking about our friends. I'm not talking about people in our community. I'm talking about, like, if you get put with like randos and stuff. Oh my God, you can't even get them to do like what the hell is it called? Like a domination match in Call of Duty. Yeah. They will not do the objectives. They do not do anything. And I'm like, you're supposed to actually go and do stuff. Forget it, dude.
They won't go to the point. They won't go protect the robot, or they won't.
Right.
I played so much Overwatch and Paladins, and you're supposed to be pushing the cart, and everyone's out just getting kills, which does nothing for the for the match whatsoever.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the thing is, you can't always be with friends, and that's what I'm trying to say. Is I like, listen, you can't always be, hooked up with friends. Hey, let's do this, let's squat up, let's do that. You're not always going to be able to do that. You know how many times I've actually gone on like even when I'm on Call of Duty and stuff, and I'm looking around, I'm like, nah, those guys are already in a match with somebody else and this and that, whatever. There's a lot of times I'm just there alone. Right.
Yeah,
and then
same.
I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. But the thing is, when I'm there alone and playing a team deathmatch or kill confirmed or something like that, I don't need anybody. I got me, and that's all there is to it. I might be talking to somebody, but like that's about it. I'm fine. So yeah, the team-based objectives, forget about it. I'm like, no, I'm out. The other thing is, this is the one that I really want to know, is the pricing. That's going to be a situation. If there's a price wall behind this, and like I saw a lot of comments. I know, but I saw the comments and a lot of comments on the official YouTube page where they had the reveal and stuff, and I watched that, and that's where you want to get the actual comments, not like some subshoot the channel that's showing the trailer. You want to go to the official one and read their comments, and that's where you get a good litmus test of how people feel. A lot of the comments were, they're going to charge full price for what looks like to be a free to play game, and I'm like, I guess that's the sort of vibe I'm getting from a lot of people who watch the trailer. But for me, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to pay for it. There's no way I pay for something that I'm not interested, not even remotely.
Okay, so they said it's not a $70 game. It's not free to play, right? They did say it's not a $70 game, right?
Okay, well, that's what you and I said last week. You remember that? You and I said they'll probably price it around $40-$50.
Yeah. So what's your guess? I'm guessing it's a $50 game. It's $49.99 in the US.
That would make sense to me.
What about
$50,
you,
but yeah, Chad, let us know.
Also,
yeah,
and I mean, you said this. You said this, but I want to talk about this for a minute. I find it very difficult to get together with 3 friends to coordinate on one game. I'm grateful that I have a lot of people that I normally play games and hang out with, like, That Blue Number or Dante or Red Wolf or a whole bunch of people, Fonz. Like, there's a bunch of people that I play with regularly, but a lot of the times I'm playing something and we're just talking and hanging out. But to get 3 people, is that you find that like near impossible sometimes?
It's funny. I've got it's going to sound really whatever, but I've got thousands of people on Xbox and PlayStation, friends on my friends list or whatever else, right? On both consoles. And it's funny, like if I were to play like Borderlands or something, it would be damn near impossible for me to get 3 out of the thousands of people on there. It would be almost impossible for me to get 3 people to play Borderlands. So the funny thing is, when I stream on my channel, I stream with my family because they're right there. So I could just be like, dude, get on the thing and let's go. You know what I mean? And so like my son will jump on or my wife will jump on. Eventually my daughter will jump on. And then I'm going to do coordinated things with certain people. Like be like, hi, listen, later on when I get like memberships on my channel, I will have membership groups where I could be like, guys, this Saturday, I'll be streaming Borderlands 4. I need 3 of you in there. But you actually have to go out of, you know what I mean? You have to go and like get people and say, organize it. It'd be very difficult for me to just turn on the console, sit down and find 3 random people that will want to play that game. So
that are in the mood
what's
too,
gonna end up happening? Yeah, that are in the mood. Because they might be playing something else.
Yeah.
Right? Like it'd be like, hey dude, you want to play Marathon? No, dude, I'm playing like Mafia of the Old Country. Like, no, I'm good. Maybe I'll hit you up tomorrow or something like that. And then the other thing is that what ends up happening after we're talking about this and whining and complaining about it, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be matchmaking with randos. And then what happens? Then people aren't doing the objectives, they're being whatever, and then you're just like, forget it, I'm not having a good time. And that's trust me, it happens to me 10 out of 10 times when I get grouped up with randos. No one's doing the objectives 100% of the time. No one's doing the objectives except for me. And I usually finish at the top of the list because I'm the only idiot running from A, B, and C. You know what I mean? Like capturing this and doing that or whatever else. And everybody's just running and gunning and throwing, pink throwing knives in Call of Duty and polka dot guns. And, Jay and Silent Bob just ran by me. Whatever, right? So
and the
that
Ninja
kind of
Turtles,
stupid. And the Ninja Turtles, for $130.
Yeah. 4XP in the chat says Split Fiction was a $50 game. Like Marathon, it better be worth it if it's going to be 50. When I watch while you're talking and I'm watching this gameplay footage, like you're right. I mean, we know the shooting's going to be phenomenal. And it looks
course,
like I can
punchy.
imagine playing it. It probably feels so punchy and just so on point. But
I'm not into extraction.
I'm not either. And when I think Brink had so many problems, it was so unbalanced, and the gunplay, the bullets, like it felt like you shot 9 million bullets and the enemy hit you with 2. It just felt like that all the time. Maybe that was my internet at the time. I have no idea. It just felt so awful. But in Brink, much like Marathon, you're hacking or scanning or picking something, and you're trying to grab stuff and get out of there. And it's really super stressful. And it's made to be that way, to give you that exciting, like adrenaline, endorphin rush. But when I think about playing this game, I just can't see myself. And I don't speak for anybody but me. I don't see myself playing this more than 3 matches one evening. And then after I turn it off, I just tell myself, I walk off and I go, I'm probably never playing that again. Like, it felt great.
It's kind of like, you know what's the vibe I'm getting from it? It's like the Helldivers 2 vibe I got. Like, I paid whatever $60 for that game, Canadian. So it was like whatever it was, $49.99. So I paid like $60, $65 for that game, and I played it for a while, and I just dropped it, and I just never went back to it. So like, I could see myself doing that with this, but I'm not going to get burned and spend, well, if it's, let's just say for argument's sake, it was $49.99 in the US, that's still $80 Canadian. I'll save that for the plethora of unbelievable games that I will play. Funnily enough, funnily, is that a word?
Yeah, we use that one here.
Borderlands 4 comes out the same day.
Oh,
what
yeah.
do you think?
Before we, okay, hold that. We'll go to the Borderlands thing, because that's a really good point. Kevin SEO goes, Colt, you're making a lot of presumptions for a game you haven't played. No, I'm making some really good presumptions. I don't.
We're spitballing how we feel about it.
Yeah, I'm giving my, people are like, I can't give the game a grade. I've never played it. Yes, you can. Like, you can look at this and you can, and if you think I can't wait to play this, or I don't want to play this, like, that's something you can totally say. I've played the Dark Zone in the Division. I don't like that gameplay style at all. I've played games like this. I do not care for them. This isn't like Helldivers. I've played Rainbow Six Extraction. I played that game for like a whole evening with friends. I'm like, never playing that again. Don't enjoy that whatsoever. Just not enjoyable for me. But the problem with that is I can say if I like something or not, because if you're talking about a Borderlands, we won't get into this right now, but if you're talking about, would you rather play Marathon or would you rather play Borderlands 4, even if I don't even know if the characters are good, I will choose Borderlands 4 100%. In a heartbeat over 100%. Trying out. Let's say I have access to Marathon that first night, and people are like, hey, 2 of us we need you, Colt. We need you a third on Marathon. I'm like, I think I'm going to choose to play Borderlands 4 tonight, because that's the kind of game I like. So,
yeah, the thing is, what's his name? 509 Gaming in the chat says, Mag, not a fan of the Division. Actually, I am. I've put in, between the 2 of them, I probably put about 250 hours into the Division. The Dark Zone, hate it. And that's exactly what this, hated it. That's exactly what this is, the Dark Zone, but an entire game of Dark Zone for $80. No, thank you. But the Division 1 and 2 had story missions. It had side quests. It had other things that where you actually go in and you could just go do something. And what I would do, I'd play with my wife or my brother-in-law or somebody else I know. I did co-op for both games. I played co-op with my wife in the Division 2 for like 130 hours. Right? So that was a different story, because like I said, once again, it had story missions, it had side missions, it had actual things like, you got to do this, you got to do that. This loop of extraction shooter, whatever, that's more attuned to what the Dark Zone was, and we avoided it like the plague. I don't care how good the gear was in there. I was not interested in that kind of gameplay. So neither am I with this. And that's fine. But the thing is, I am a huge Borderlands fan, though. Huge Borderlands fan. I adore those games. And Borderlands 4 coming out the same day. By the way, the funny thing is, if I'm not mistaken, is Borderlands 4 also being marketed by Sony? Because if it is, it is. Okay. So they're literally marketing 2 games on the same day. So Marathon comes out, which is marketed with Sony because they own them, right? They own Bungie, and they're marketing Borderlands 4 on the same day. How insane! Like, who the hell
both service
is
games.
making 7 figures? Who's making seven figures at these companies and coming up with these absolutely asinine ideas and business decisions? Hire me. I will fix everything for you. And the first thing I would do is not put Marathon, a team-based shooter, extraction shooter, on the same day as Borderlands 4, a 4-person. I know you can play it single player, but it's a 4-person shooter.
Team-based.
And team-based as well. Huh. Ain't that a weird thing? That's like, oh my God, these guys are so stupid. That's like,
well, I mean,
that's like
I
releasing
also,
like 2 first-person military shooters on the same day by the same company.
You mean Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 5 or 4, whatever it was?
Yeah,
Battlefield 4,
that's right.
Yeah.
That'd be like EA releasing the new Zampella Battlefield and Titanfall 3 on the same day.
I mean, those are both of their products from that publisher, but with PlayStation have the marketing rights on Borderlands 4. Borderlands is huge, and Borderlands 4 may
huge.
not be. Borderlands 4 might be the worst one in the series. We don't know, but it'll probably pull more players away from Marathon.
Oh, 100%.
Or people could be like, I've already played Borderlands. I can wait a couple of days. Let me give some time. And I might do that. That'll be tough to do. But I have to say again, because it comes off as complaining, and it also comes off as
it does.
Hating something because it's Bungie, and a lot of these studios don't have their glory they once had. But this game has a cool art style.
Yeah.
The shooting looks impeccable.
It's going to be. It's just the style of game is not what I'm not interested in. Not the mechanics. The running, the sliding, the jumping, the taking cover, the shooting, the changing weapons, the picking up weapons. You know that's all going to be fantastic. That's going to be fantastic. You know that. But it's the scenario that they put you in that is not going to that's not going to draw me in. That's all it is. It's not the mechanics of the game. The mechanics of the game are going to be very sound and fantastic. You know that. But it's the style of game that I'm not interested in. That's all it is.
Okay. What would
Emperor Hound, what's up, dude? It's been a while since what the hell have you been?
What would you rather play day one? Tell me something good about Marathon. What is Marathon? What's its best chance for success that it has?
It's got oh my God. Dude, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know because it's just so far off my radar. I'm not really, but like I said, the only thing I can think of are the actual game mechanics are going to be great. That's a one positive thing I could say about it. But like the other stuff, I'm just not interested in it, and I'm not going to pay for something that I'm totally not interested in playing. That's all there is to it. I'd rather spend the $100 on Borderlands instead of the $80 for a game I have no interest in playing.
Ooh,
right? So for an extra $20, I'll buy Borderlands 4, and my whole family gets to enjoy it. My kids, my wife, myself. I'm going to be online with people playing it. Whoever wants to play it with me, we'll stream live on my channel. Whatever. We'll have some fun with it, man. It's going to be multi-plat as well, if I'm not mistaken. So you know what I mean? It'd be Xbox and PlayStation people playing. I think it's like, to me, that's great. So, like, I think that would be, for me, that's the only option. On September 21st, 22nd? Whatever that day is, that's what I'll be playing. I'll be playing Borderlands 4.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I thought it was like somewhere around September 15th or something, but I don't look that far ahead. Shout out to Paris in the chat. Says the best chance for Marathon is Xbox Game Pass, the best value in gaming.
You know what? That would be possibly the only chance that it really. Like, I'm not saying the only chance, but it would probably help if it was on a subscription service. You know what I could
Rainbow
see?
Six Siege Extraction. It released.
It was on Game.
It's on Game Pass,
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I thought of? I could think of this. If Bungie, Jesus Christ, if Marathon doesn't take off the way that they want to, I guarantee before 6 months' time it'll end up in PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
100%. They'll dump it in there and be like, let's get people in there.
Yeah, and the people doing the Concord thing, you're forgetting the one thing that I was going to say when I asked you what its chance for survival or success is. My opinion, its best chance for success is the Bungie magic. And Bungie makes some of the best games. Somebody said today that they haven't made a bad game in 20 years. Well, honestly, they've never made a bad game. Even Destiny 2 was a raging success. So, yeah, I mean, I guess they're due to have one that flops, but Marathon might not be it. Like, this game may just have that magic injected into my veins thing that gives it legs. I could see that happening.
Listen, man, we can't predict what's going to happen. Anything could happen. Look at Fortnite. Did anybody think that a side project battle royale would have taken over the planet? Not in a million years. If you and I had been on this channel when that happened, when they released, because remember, the Fortnite battle royale was not that was not the main game. That was just a side mission or whatever. That was like a little offshoot of the game. And all of a sudden, like if you and I had discussed that, I would have said 10 times out of 10, I would have said, nah, it's going to fail. There's no way it's going to do anything. There's no way. And there's no way I would have predicted, or many people would have predicted, a global domination that Fortnite became, right? So you never know. Anything could happen. So the only thing we can do is sit back and wait.
Back then, Fortnite, I wanted to play Fortnite because it looked cool.
Right.
But I didn't want to pay the $40 for it. And they're like, oh, this has all this free content. But the horde mode where you fight like the zombies or whatever they were way back in 2017, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, my voice cracked. I just went through yesterday.
Would you like some fries with that, sir? Like the guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Would you like some fries with that, sir?
Oh, welcome.
Give me 700 Krusty Burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't buy Fortnite because I didn't want to buy Save the World because I had friends who played it and they said, yeah, that was not fun at all. I'm like, well, there's a free thing, but I'm not interested in the multiplayer thing. So yeah, I never even really knew about it. And that's funny that, Happy Bomb says my kids are playing Fortnite right now. I was playing with my kids the other day. They bought Sabrina Carpenter. And so they're doing
fantastic.
Like the please like emote and we're having a great time. It's so fun.
I mean,
it's great.
The beer baron's got it, dude. He's got it solved. It's going to be a huge hit. He just said, I mean, if they add Jay and Silent Bob to Marathon,
that's all you have to do.
Dude, that's it. Global domination. It's in. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, there's Jeff Keighley.
But,
oh my gosh. Developers.
What? Where is he, in the chat?
No, he was on the screen for a minute.
He's on the screen. Jesus,
I have to do a pixel wipe.
Drop by the chat. I'm like, come on, Jeff.
Johnny goes, ooh, gross.
Jesus, man. Have Colt and I do Have Colt and I do announce an award. Oh, there he is. I just saw him. Have Colt and I go up there and announce an award for the Game Awards for Content Creator of the Year.
We'll go announcing two guys you've never heard of, and we're like,
no, they've heard of us. Especially Phil Spencer. He'd be in the crowd and be like, "Stop talking to my staff." Can you imagine?
And then you look over and he's looking down. Stop talking to my staff.
Yeah, he's got like a giant oversized martini, and he's in the crowd just like spilling it on on Greenberg, like on his shirt, and then he yells that out. His
feet up on Reggie Fils-Aimé's chair, just being really disrespectful. We're going multi-platform, and he's got like all the salt on there. Yeah, that was And
then Greenberg, now that he's got. Yeah, hey man, I'm all in. Yeah, and then once he spills the martini all over Greenberg, he'll have the wet stains on him, and then Greenberg can go up and go, developers. Yeah, so make it look like sweat stains. There you go, man. That's we got the show. Keeley, dude, you know where to get a hold of me, man.
It's easy.
You're right here.
So easy.
Spoke to you. Yeah. Well,
I mean, if you want eye candy on stage, you get two old 50-year-old gamers, Gen X boomers. I'll wear a tuxedo. Footage you've been watching. You'll what?
Yeah. I have a tuxedo. We'll go.
I have a black suit, and I'll just tie my tie different. I don't own a tuxedo. Some of the footage you were watching today was the content creator, like streamer footage, and I zoomed into just their screen, so you didn't have to see their cringy cells going, developers.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to see, I doubt anybody watched that footage. And I didn't, but you got to see it in its actual gameplay glory.
Yeah.
We got a couple supers here.
Sure.
Thank you so much for sending them in. Putrefied. That's not nice. Purified Storm. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says 20th anniversary of Halo is 2026, so a new game could be possible. I mean, you ain't wrong. They probably should capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan Gaming. Super Saiyan Gaming.
Yep.
Thank you so much for the $5 super says Halo and id Software plus Machine Games, 2 games, 1 Spartan, other like ODST. Oh yeah, a Spartan and an ODST. Un abrazo, Colt. I probably said that wrong, but I'm white.
I can't find the super chat.
Yeah,
it
was about almost.
The last one I got is Ackerman with his nonsense.
I don't know if Paris is still here, but Headlock will be coming his way if I can get a step ladder. He said, make Banjo first before you do anything else.
Paris said that? No, man. Dude, I'm done with animals that don't talk, all right? If you want to hear that crap, just go play Animal Crossing on Switch.
Hey, make Banjo Kazooie and have Troy Baker voice Banjo. He's like, hey, what's going on, bird? Land on my shoulder again. All right. That'd be great. Actually, that would be more like David Hayter from Snake. Right. Thank you so much.
There's a fruit in the tree. Go get the fruit in the tree. Beep bop boop, ba beep bop boop, ba dee da boop. Wouldn't that be funny if you actually used Troy Baker, but he just does that instead? He does the stupid.
Oh my gosh, it would be so sultry.
The stupid mumbling. Yeah. He bop boop, ba be da doo da dee da.
Ever since Nuts and Bolts, I still have never worn pants.
I met him, by the way.
Who? No pants, Troy Baker?
No. He had pants on when I saw. I met Troy Baker. He had pants on when I met him.
Were they skinny pants?
Okay. He's
There's those.
Yeah. He does wear skinny pants. But no. He's I met him once. He's got a hell of a voice, man. He's got a hell of a voice.
Yeah,
I always thought I had a hell of a voice, and you too. And I'm just like, you listen to this guy talk, and you're like, okay, this guy's something special. Like when you meet like a movie star, and like actually the same day I met William Shatner, and then when they talk in real life, you're just like you're taken aback. You're like, oh my god, that I can't believe the voice actually is attached to a human, because you're usually like you hear it in like a game or whatever, or you just see it on a screen, right? And then when I had Captain Kirk standing in front of me, he's like, "Come back, little girl. You want to take a picture with me?" He was like talking like some kid, whatever. I was standing.
Come back over here to get a picture. Yeah.
Come back, little girl. Want to take a picture with me? And then I was like standing right next to like William Shatner.
He called
like,
you
hey.
little girl?
No, there was a little girl in front of me.
You're like,
and then I talked to him for a minute. I just said thank you for everything. What was I gonna say? I mean, like the guy's been my idol for like my whole life, and he's looking at me. I looked at him, and I'm just like, thank you for everything. That's all I can muster.
You know what?
Can you imagine this guy who doesn't shut
a good
up?
thing to say. That's actually
a
good thing to say. I met about 10 years ago. I met my favorite guitar player ever, my whole life, and I met him and I was talking to him, and I was having a normal conversation with him, and this guy next to me is like, "Hey, when you were doing that one solo in that one song, when you were like, he's like, how did you do that?" And the guy was like, I don't know, man. What do you want me to say? And I'm like, why do you talk to him that way?
I'm like, that's just. Yeah, I just play the instrument. That's it. Thanks, dude.
I don't know. The forces of that bee just take over, and I'm like that. Yeah. But
got a bunch more super chat schemes flying in.
Danny Patchen official. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Mag. That's my problem with objective mode on PvP.
Yeah, there you go, dude. I can't stand it, man. I just can't trust other humans unless they're my friends. Like people are like, well, I mean, my friends, like people like in my, you know what I mean? People on my friends group, on my friends list, whatever. Hey, Mag, you want to play? I know they're not going to go and say, hey, Mag, you want to play whatever, fill in the blank? I'd be like, yeah, cool. And then they just go fart off and then start shooting things and not doing the objectives. I'd be like, dude, why did you invite me here if you're just going to run away? But they wouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. So I said, you're usually with strangers, so it doesn't really work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I did like one of those 30 or 40-minute Rainbow Six Siege like sessions, like back when the game was fairly newish, and we're like almost done, and we're getting ready to like leave, and the teammate who's a rando on the internet turns, just goes boom, and shotguns me in the face, and I'm like, what the crap? And I see him walk off, and he goes to the other team, boom, he kills the whole team and takes like all the XP or something. And I look up on my phone, it's like, that's totally a thing that people do, and I'm like, wow, the internet's so fun. Video gaming is so
dude,
great.
There's such That's why, like I said, if I'm playing multiplayer, generally speaking, and I don't have anybody friends to play with, I'm playing solo or I'm not playing at all. That's all there is to it. If I'm not playing with friends, specifically.
And if I'm playing like Call of Duty Zombies with Red Wolf and he has massive ADD like I do, I'll be down. I'm like, I'm down. I need to be revived. I'm down. He's like, and he just runs off.
Yep.
Andy Ackerman, thank you so much for if you know the song I whistled, you're super old and you're my best friend. Andy Ackerman with the $5 super chat says, Team Colt today. Mag gets high on Wolfman's farts, but claims he can quit anytime he wants.
You know, Ackerman, you're in for it, eh? Next stream. Let's see you in that next stream. By the way, that next stream might be the last stream of Split Fiction. I'm on the last level. So I expect to see you there. And hit the like button.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show here. You can hit that on Mag's channel. But show your support here for two guys and one show.
That's right. Careful the way you say that. Two guys, one show.
Yeah, two guys, one show. Click here today.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the foot molds, they're coming along nicely. Red Wolf Renegade, thank you so much for the super chat.
Hey.
He sends $5 to say, have you guys played Predator Concrete Jungle from back in 2005? We need a remake ASAP. It was amazing for its time. Dylan, you son of a...
Yeah,
and then he puts together the
Dylan! I need to do team because some damn fool said that you were the best. Yeah, then he gets up. Dylan! You like son of a bee. Well, it was Carl Weathers.
You
some
sound
damn
just like
fool
him.
Oh, thank you. Accused you of being the best.
Yo, because we're warriors, Stalin. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Dylan, I actually have a guy who works for me named Dylan, and every time he shows up to work, I literally yell that. I'm not even kidding. Every time I see him. So I just saw him on the weekend. He comes into work, and I'm like, Dylan! It's constant. He has no idea what it means because he's only like 19, and he wasn't even like the sparkle in anybody's eye when Predator came out. So he has no idea what the hell we're talking about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. What is this, Purified Storm? Read that super chat, please.
Okay, I will in just a second. Udani Kizada with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Udani, for
I didn't see that.
Amazing.
Sorry.
I would kill for a Banjo game with Chris Tucker's Rush Hour voice. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I was trying to say.
I can't do it.
Say something like that.
I can't do it.
You understand the parrot that's coming out of my shoulder? I can't really do him. He just his voice is too high. Yeah, his voice is way too high.
Oh my gosh. I don't trust Xbox to do that right. I feel like they just wouldn't hire Chris Tucker.
Look you got a Banjo. It's called Super Lucky's Tale. Get over it.
Oh, gross.
I liked Super Lucky's Tale. I liked that game. It was fun. It was cute.
But you also like dudes. Purified Storm with the $5 super chat says, Toys for Bob studio head wants to develop a new Banjo-Kazooie. Are they already? Yeah, so I did see that. Report.
I saw that too. I saw Boom talking about it. Shout out to my brother Boom because he's the guy has been talking about Banjo-Kazooie for years, and I swear don't quote me on this. Man. Don't quote me on this. He's a Boom. Listen, man, dude, he's got guns. Okay, he's a police officer. He's a retired police officer.
Careful.
He's got guns.
Oh, I thought you meant he's got those too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got those too. No, I meant like guns that that kill people.
I mean,
so let's not
Paris
mess around with
Boom,
too. Right?
But he wants Banjo.
Paris, I can outrun him. There's no problem with that. I can scissor kick Paris and just run.
You can out skip.
I mean,
Paris.
I can scissor kick him from behind when he's not looking and then run.
I'll kneel down and you just push him over me. So that's a kung fu
I don't even
move.
think I'd be able to reach Paris's face. I'm like, there's no way. I need a step ladder to get up there.
You want Banjo, huh?
Or a ramp.
Right.
Maybe I could do. Yeah, right. Can you imagine? Anyways, all joking aside.
Sundays?
Yeah. All right. I think Boom brought it up with Phil Spencer to his face when he met him. So I think he brought up the Banjo thing to him.
Yeah, I think
Don't quote me on that. I think he did. I remember he telling me that story when he met Phil Spencer. He talked about Banjo, and I'm like, hey, man, if you're going to go to the source, that's the source, right? So
and you know what Phil told him? He's like, you're a grown man and you want Banjo? That's what Phil said. No.
And then handed him a business card for his OnlyFans page. Yeah.
Aaron Greenberg walks by and he's eating like a falafel or something. He's like, he wants Banjo too? What the crap? right from the
first
food truck.
Paris said the same thing to me 10 minutes ago.
He slipped me a 20 spot, and he's like, "Hey, Greenberg, Banjo, Banjo, baby."
Can you imagine, like, Greenberg is like, "Come on, guys, let's just take the picture and do the X thing." Okay, all right, great. And then as he walks away, he goes, "By the way, you're not getting," and he goes, "By the way, you're not getting Banjo," and then runs off behind the security line so no one can get to him.
Let's talk about the Xbox show. I'm actually sweating in this jacket. I'm wearing one of the very
Why are you wearing this jacket?
I'm wearing one of the very few Xbox branded things I own. This is a really cool bomber jacket they gave us at FanFest last year, and I'm going to take it off now because you got me all hot and bothered.
All right.
Xbox canceled FanFest, but I want to talk about that first, and then we'll talk about Showcase. For the past 3 years plus, I think, past 3 years, they did this live watch party, and one of my buddies was like, "Oh, who cares? It's not a real show. You're just watching it in a theater. It's not a big deal," but it is a big deal. It actually is a big deal to be at the watch party with the big, huge, gigantic, oversized movie screen and the surround sound system and watching every trailer at the most highest fidelity and having 500 or 1,000 people surrounding you cheering when something cool happens. It's a cool experience. And I got to do that in 2022, 23, and 24. And there's a lot more to talk about with FanFest. I've kind of covered it like when I got back from that day, but it's just really cool being there with the industry, other content creators, other Xbox fans, and everything. And then the Xbox leadership is there. But they've decided this year that they're not going to do FanFest because they would I don't want to speak out for them. They are holding an 10th anniversary FanFest later on the year. I'm going to predict that's going to be at the end of August in LA to coincide with their LA or their North American Gamescom presence. For those of you who don't know what that is, last year they decided Germany Gamescom is a big deal for Xbox, and they've told me it's their biggest show they put on outside of Showcase. But they don't do that on this side of the planet, so they decided to hold a miniature or a mobile version of Gamescom in LA, and I didn't go last year because we were on vacation. So I'm assuming they're going to do that again, and they're going to hold a 10th anniversary FanFest in August. That's my prediction. I also want to predict, Mag, that they will not ever have a live viewing show with actual people in the theater watching ever again. From now on, just be unleashed to Twitch and Twitter and YouTube or whatever. I think that's what's going to happen. This may not be a long topic because you've never been. I've been trying to talk you into going, but what's your opinion on this? What do you think?
I was supposed to go, and I literally bought tickets. I paid for the hotel and the whole 9 yards, and they canceled the event. Remember that? Because it wasn't because of COVID. It's just they couldn't get together. Remember that they were trying to ignite E3 a couple of years back?
Yeah, no, it was
like 2 years ago.
Yeah, E3 pulled out, and then how long ago? Then it was 2 years ago. It was after COVID, and what happened is then another company, I can't remember their name. They said they were reviving it, and we already paid. Well, like I said, we bought the plane tickets. I paid for the hotel. My wife and I were going. We already had the whole thing organized, and then they canceled it, not me. Okay. So I was supposed to be there a couple of years ago. So that kind of sucks. Was that when you went to?
Anyway. I went to Dominican Republic instead.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, because we're like, well, whatever. So we canceled it. We got our money back, and then we applied that towards the Dominican Republic and went with the kids.
What you're remembering is that they decided not to have an actual where everyone's on stage and introduces everything. They decided to just have it streamed on video. So yeah, I went that year. That was 2022. Trying to remember. I was there with
that was
that
20,
blue number.
That was 23,
I was there with my wife. Was it 23?
That was 23. Yeah, it was 23.
Okay. And that was the Starfield Direct year. Yeah.
That was 23.
That was a good one.
So
anyway. And I met Udani Kizada there last year at FanFest and a whole bunch of people. But yeah, what do you think? Would you be interested in going if they return to saying, well, we're going to pack 1,000 people into the theater, media is going to be there, fans are going to be there, Phil, everybody? Like, would you want to go to something like that next year.
Yeah, I would. That's something I would. Yes, of course I would. I wouldn't want to go for any other reason. I would want to be there for an actual event. You know what I mean? If it's something I could just watch on YouTube, I'd be like, all right, I'll just watch it on YouTube at home.
Yeah, there's
but
an after
if it's
event.
like an
The
event,
FanFest is the after event. But
right. But if they did like an actual show, like they used to do and whatever, that would be something I would absolutely love to go to, right? And so that's always been the thing. The funny thing is, you literally they own the theater is called the Microsoft Theater, for God's sake. They own the damn thing. Oh, it was, yeah. Sorry,
they changed it to Peacock Theater, but like their ownership was like tangentially or something. I don't know. I didn't look into it. I don't care. Anymore.
Well, I mean, they had a venue, and they had everything for it, and whatever it is, what it is. I'll just watch it at home, and we'll talk about it on this show, and I'll talk about it on my channel. That's about it. But at some point, I like the idea of having some sort of a mecca of gaming that happens every year, where people from all over the world can go and just be there and experience. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like a whole thing, like a Super Bowl of gaming that goes on for 4 days or whatever. And then that's where everybody from all over the world can get together. You can get Jez flying across the world and everybody else, and Risk It taking his rowboat from Australia to LA, and then us going down there, and then you know what I mean, and everybody being together, and all the crews and all the YouTubers from all over the world, and everybody's all there, and you know what I mean? Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd be all for that. But the thing is, they've made the whatever the hell these things are, these showcases now, they're so disjointed that you feel like it's just not like a cohesive package anymore. Like E3 was a cohesive package. It started on this day, it ended on this day, and everybody had their shot at glory as each day went on. Oh, today's Nintendo's day. This is Microsoft's day. Sunday's PlayStation's day or whatever. You know what I mean? Everybody had their time to shine. EA took Wednesdays and whatever, right? And you always had something to look forward to. But the companies don't care anymore. The companies are making so much money on a digital level that they're like, well, why do we have to go? We're just making money for transferring. Literally, you're just transferring data.
Yeah,
because that's all that's happening now.
Literal table in the chat says Sony.
Yep.
Sony pulled out first, and PlayStation pulled out of the E3 showcase, I think 2018, because my first time was 2019. And you're right, Mag, it's really expensive. I actually was looking up today how much it costs to rent like the Peacock Theater, and it says that information is not available, like you have to do a consult. There's a lot to it, but good. Let me make sure we're back up.
I didn't even know we were off.
Okay, we're back. Well, yeah, it disconnected for a second. What I was saying before disconnected was I don't like talk about what happened at FanFest because I want to make sure that I'm not frozen as well. Okay, I'm good. I don't talk about FanFest because people just want to hear about the gaming stuff. But after the event, they typically have they have food and stuff, and you hang out. And then they have like little activities, and you can go up and meet so-and-so from this studio that's there, or go talk to Todd or Phil or Sarah or Aaron if you want to do that. They had like a gigantic Series X, and they had metal, the silver pins, and everyone could sign their name. And then they had a picture for like the ages of the signatures. They just have all these little events you can do, and then you could buy merch. And they did like a game show thing last year, and you could win cool stuff. It's a pretty fun time, but you're just surrounded by a bunch of Xbox fans. It's amazing. It's so amazing. But even just being in the theater, like I said, with 500 or 1,000 people with just a watch party. Phil and Sarah and Aaron and Todd Howard were there a couple of years ago. Like they were there last year too, but Todd wasn't. And they walk up on stage with a microphone. They talk to everybody, and then you're going to see them after the showing, after the showcase. And Xbox was the last one that actually did this, Mag. They were the last ones holding on to that thread of E3 being a place and a time when everyone came together, and the media all flew into LA to be there at the event and to do content. And now I think they made the decision that that's on the chopping block. They'll no longer do an in-person thing. Like everyone else in the industry, they'll just upload their stuff to Twitter or Twitch and YouTube. And then they'll say, hey, there's a couple $1 million we don't have to spend. I mean, we kind of left the fans high and dry, but it's really only 1,000 people that went from FanFest.
Think about this. They've already raised game prices after they went from physical to digital, and they never reduced the price because they said, oh, digital will be cheaper because we no longer have to package and manufacture and this and that. But then they ended up not only charging the same, now they charge more for digital and all they're doing is literally you click on a tile and it's a digital transfer to your account. That's all it is. It costs them nothing to do it. And so this is no different with these shows. They just upload all the stuff to YouTube and to Twitter, and that's it. And they walk away. They don't have to pay anybody, no flights, no hotels, no fan fests, no organizations, no convention centers, nothing.
Yeah.
They just upload it to there. People watch it on their couch, and then they just go about their business, and that's all there is to it. And it sucks because it's gotten rid of something that should always be there, and there's nothing more electric than having people together. Right? Having people together and feeling that feeling together. It's like being at a sporting event. I can watch the Buffalo Bills on my television, no problem. But there's nothing like being there when there's 80,000 people inside and outside the stadium, even 100,000 people in and outside the stadium, and the tailgating, and then the actual game, and jets flying overhead and stuff, showing a strength and all this other stuff. It's awesome.
When you walk
but it's
into
not the same as
when you walk into a sports stadium, even before the game kicks off,
you feel that energy.
Feel it. Yeah, like when
you
I
walk through the tunnel. When you walk through the tunnel,
yeah.
And then you go, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh! And I swear to God, dude, I'm 50 years old, and I still get that feeling when I walk out of the tunnel, and you look around, going, holy crap, this is so cool, because there's 50,000 people sitting there, and you immediately feel the energy change when you walk out of that tunnel into the seating area. There's nothing like it, man. And by doing this, they've taken away an element of it, and the hype around it. I mean, we can get hype here on XNC. We can get hype on the MAG show, but that ain't the same, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's 500 people watching this show right now, and that's just the FanFest group that gets invited, the ones that get the free jersey or shirt or free jacket, and they're all wearing the same thing, and they're in the front row. We get the front segment. Media and journalists are all behind us because we get the front row, even though there's no cameras shooting the event. It's an amazing feeling. Every time I walk into one of those events, there's like this thick atmosphere of just energy. And this year I'll probably live stream the showcase and maybe be able to make a video that evening. I've never been able to do that because I've been on a podcast that I was on for years. And then now that since I started XNC, you and I've been doing the show like the Monday after I get home, like I race home from the airport. But I think they had to cut stuff for money, and they literally walked away from being the only bastion of holding on to that gamer Christmas in June. And I think they just they just put it to bed, and no one really realizes it yet.
Yeah, it really sucks, and like I said, it just you lose some more of it, and I see somebody in the chat here saying, "What the hell is it?" It's just saying, "Oh, they should just keep it. They should have just kept it in Seattle, so they don't have to go to LA or anything like that." Happy Bomb said it, or just have it in Seattle, so they don't have to get the hotels and move everybody to LA.
That helps us because we live so close.
That's only Xbox though, but that's only Xbox. I don't want to just see Xbox. I want to see everybody.
Paris in chat says,
"Yeah."
FanFest returns when Banjo returns. Paris, right in the chat.
Yeah, right.
How are you feeling about FanFest being canceled? I'm pretty. I've been around him several FanFests, and he's got a huge smile on his face like I do. I'm pretty sure he's probably bummed. But sound off in the chat how you're feeling about it. Do you think, Paris? Do you think that it's only 1,000 people that get invited, or it's really only like 400 or 500 people? So it's like they have to cut their losses, or do you think they kind of let something go that they were holding a stewardship on that was important to the gaming industry or the gaming community? I don't know. Maybe I'm being over dramatic. I definitely do miss it. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say about that. But
listen, when I hit 1 million subs, we're going to have MagFest. And we're gonna host one every single year. Listen, man, if like Nerdrotic can do it, like he's right now he's in Las Vegas and he's doing a huge meetup with all the fellowship of all the other big YouTubers that he deals with. and they're having a big fan party, like 3-day fan party in Las Vegas for all his supporters or whatever. People fly from all over the world to go to that.
Yeah.
And he's only at 1.2 million subs. When I hit 1 million, we're going to have MagFest. It's going to be amazing. Everybody's going to be there. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to play video games inside the Vegas Dome. You know the big dome? That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to watch trailers and stuff in there. Wouldn't that be cool? Imagine doing their gaming like their little gaming show game showcase inside that dome. And you're watching trailers in like 3D whatever and can you imagine that? How insane that would be? That would be so surreal. Yeah, like God, like why? You know what I mean? I understand it costs money, but like, I'm sorry, Microsoft, you don't make enough money. $3 trillion company.
Can I be melodramatic again? For those who didn't watch my Gaming Weekly News video, what a terrible year to tell your fans you're not doing FanFest after you said it's just 4 games, and then you said, "Oh, we're putting everything on PlayStation." Like, optics are only worth so much money. Somebody over there said it's not worth the extra money. You know, just take the PR hit. Maybe there really isn't a PR hit, but as fans who watch this podcast or watch other podcasts like I do, like we're keyed in on this. And I didn't hear a lot of people complaining like, oh my gosh, they've really kind of done a disservice to their fans. But it kind of feels like it when you're like, you've given us a rough couple of years, the ABK trial, laying low, delaying games, and then you have the best showcase ever. It went out on a bang with the in-person one last year. So, yeah, Malik says this is a nothing burger. Probably. And I do understand. That's why I'm cautiously protecting my opinion about FanFest, because if you haven't been, just like anything else, if you haven't been, what are you missing out on? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like if you told me, I've never been to an NFL game in my life. I've been to tons of MLB games. I've watched live baseball a bunch of times. I've never been to an NFL game. And if you're like, oh, they're never doing them again, you're going to miss out. I'd be like, oh man, I always wanted to go. But they would be ripping something away from you. And I do want to go to an NFL game, but my brother never invites me. Speaking of my brother. The thing is,
yep.
So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it. What I was gonna say about the whole thing is that, you know, you've taken away the ability or the reason for a lot of people to get together. Like, it's easy to say, okay, guys, we got this FanFest coming up. We got 4-day event in LA. It's going on all week or whatever, right? And then people will fly all over the world for it. But, you know, try and get me to get like Risk It. Hey, Risk It, listen, man. Just come over and fly across half the world just to see us for just no reason, just to hang out. Sure, I do that too. But like, you know, a lot of, you know, expendable money like that, it's got to be for a damn good reason. You know what I mean? To spend all that money to do something like that. So it takes away the ability for us to have an excuse to be able to all get together. Yeah, and right. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of sucks because yes, of course I want to meet everybody in person, but once we meet each other in person and be like, all right, so what do we do now? We go bowling? Like, you know what I mean? We eat, okay, we hang out, you know, we get drunk and do karaoke. Some of
that stuff's
but then
great,
after
though,
that,
but yeah.
It is great. No, it is great. But then the thing is, if we had a common goal and was saying, okay, man, we're all here. Let's party. Let's do whatever. But yes, 9 a.m. I'll see you at the whatever. You know, tomorrow we got Nintendo, so get some rest. Or, you know, the next day we got Sony, and today we got Xbox, and you know, the next day EA, and it gives you an itinerary of things to do, and of course it gives everybody an excuse to fly around the world to go do it. Now they've removed that, so it's kind of
Meg makes you make,
and it's not just Xbox. It's not just Xbox because Nintendo pulled out years ago, PlayStation pulled out years ago, then the third party people pulled out years ago. You're right. The only people left that actually were hanging on were Xbox at one point.
I mean,
right?
Jeff
so it kind of sucks. I'm not going to blame them.
Summer Games Fest is on Thursday, like a few days or a couple days before Showcase. And he also has Summer Games play days or whatever that I haven't been to. So, and then a couple years ago, there was like a Bethesda thing like the next day. So Xbox wasn't the only one who was there, but when they had the convention center full of all of these people, like Nintendo was there in 2019, Fortnite was there. Sega was there, Xbox was there, and all these other multi-platform publishers were in the convention center. Now that's completely dead. it is hard to
I
get
love
people
that.
to come out.
You do you remember when they used to have the pictures and it would have like the blue PlayStation logo and then right across from it that had the green Xbox logo, and then there was like the hallway, and then you can go check out the PlayStation stuff, and then on the other side you can go check out the Xbox stuff. It was awesome. Like, that's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? And then of course on the other side you had the big red Nintendo doing their thing, and then you had
and they
all
don't
the
let you in.
companies.
They're so annoying at PAX in Seattle. They're blocking the entrance, and you have to have like VIP to even go in there and play Splatoon 2. I'm like, what are you guys doing, Nintendo?
Yeah, Nintendo.
You have to sign up and like give them like your firstborn child. Gosh, Nintendo drives me crazy sometimes.
Yeah,
you wonder why I don't get excited
like
about their
them.
stuff.
I like when I cover them. Like I did 2 videos about Nintendo, and I will not show any footage of any of their stuff. It's just me talking because I'm like, I don't care. These guys are such a-holes. I'm like, they take down channels and stuff. I'm like, forget it, man. You guys don't even deserve my attention.
Nintendo will go over to your sister-in-law's nursery, daycare she runs in Ojai, and start painting over the Nintendo characters you painted in your daycare for the kids. Like, oh, that's not allowed.
No,
they're ridiculous.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Corey Evans, no. I mean, you know what? It's so funny because I'm like, someone's gonna think I'm doing that, and he says, Mag, did you just smell your armpits? I didn't. What I do because it's a work
shirt,
thing.
By the way?
Oh, that's Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil.
It is. Yeah.
That's my girl, man. She could step on me any day. Pin me down. I don't care. Do whatever you want, Lady Dimitrescu. I'm all yours.
Speaking of, I was playing Borderlands 3 with Holly and Dante last night, and we got to the part where you meet Mad Moxie, and my wife was sitting here while I was playing, and I go, Dante, go ahead and go in that door real quick. And Dante runs in there, and he's like crouching down, and he's going around and walking around the character model, and I'm like, Dante, stop. It's great.
It's hot, man. Jeez.
It's what you got to do.
Okay, so I got to answer this now. It's a work thing. Whenever I'm in the even in the kitchen, whatever, you're not supposed to touch anything. Like if you something gets itchy or whatever, you're not supposed to scratch or put your hands in your pockets or touch your face or any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, like you're not supposed to do any of that stuff. So you're supposed to keep your hands safe, clean, food safe, clean at all times or whatever else. As a result of that, if you get itchy like on your face, you're supposed to do this.
Oh, that's
habit. On your, you go like this, and so like you scratch it with like your arm or whatever, or if something happens, like you don't wipe your brow if you're sweating, like you don't do that stuff. You're not supposed to touch anything with your hands. Your hands are supposed to be out, and only like I said, they're called food safe hands. So like when something gets itchy, I'll go like that. So sometimes it looks like I'm smelling my armpits.
You're making me itch.
You were talking, and I went like this, that, and then I turned back, and it's so funny. And one person, Corey Evans, noticed it. That's so funny.
I do a thing since I've been on camera with you doing the show. Like if I have an itch, let's say I itch right here, or like this, I'll try not to do this because then I cover my face. So I'll do this thing where I'm like, because I feel like it's less intrusive. But then I'm like, yeah, we're all idiots. Speaking of idiots, we got my favorite idiot in the chat. Boner Jams. I'll read it in a second here. Because I'll miss Chris's awesome super chat. Thank you, Chris, for the $5 super chat. Says, since Xbox is thinking multi-platform Banjo would actually be a great idea because it would go to Switch too, Nintendo fans still love Banjo. Absolutely. Like, Banjo would have a far better chance of survival being available to everyone. And like I keep saying, it better be a dang good studio. I don't know if Toys for Bob is maybe they'll be the right studio. Boner Jams, my good friend. That's I got to shout out Boner Jams. Thank you for the $5 super. Says, how does one come up with the moniker of Mag? Is it based upon his keen deduction skills? Is it based on his Brazzers viewership? Love it.
Okay, well, I do frequent Brazzers, yes, but that's not where I got it from. Of course, middle-aged game guy. I just came up with it. Not gamer guy, by the way. So many people get it wrong when they quote me like IGN is like middle-aged gamer guy. I'm like, stop, I'm wrong. It's middle-aged game guy.
You want to know what my pet peeve is?
I came up with it like 8 years ago. I don't know why. I just showed up out of nowhere.
It's been that long?
Sitting there. Yeah, but I was never online. I wasn't on YouTube until 2020. So it was like 2017 I came up with it. And then I was just like, oh, middle-aged game guy. That's a great name. And then someone else said, you got to shorten it to Mag. And I'm like, oh, it's a good point. Actually, I think it was Crispy Bomb, funny enough. I think it was Crispy Bomb. It was the first person to do it because I was doing early shows with like Noof Nukem and then with Mr. Boomstick XL. And then Crispy Bomb was on the one of the show, Primetime Gaming, and he just called me Mag. He says, you just call it Mag. And I actually did come up with Mag at one point, but I never said it out loud because I'm like, it was, never mind. I won't even say why, but there was reason for it. And there was some like political unrest. And I'm like, it's going to sound too much this.
Sure.
And whatever else. And I'm like, I'm just going to leave it, forget it. I'll just call myself middle-aged game guy. That's it. And then he just called me Mag and it just stuck. And then I'm like, you know what? It was destiny. It was destiny. Just leave it at Mag. So that's what it is.
My pet peeve is when people write my name as Colteastwood. Two words. It's not on brand for me. So I put it in there. I'll put it back.
Listen to these scumbags in the chat. Hey, listen, not middle-aged, not middle-aged anymore, big boy. I'm only 50. I just turned 50 for crying out loud. I'm not even, dude, senior citizen is at 65 and above. I'm still middle-aged for another 15 years. And Matt McDonald Media, let me tell you something. He goes, you guys should eat hot peppers. Dude, I eat Carolina Reapers with my eggs for breakfast. I'm not even kidding. Not even remotely kidding. Listen, man, I work with Jamaicans and West Indies people, okay? I know, and I'm Italian. We know hot. All right, we know hot Scotch bonnets. I could eat them like cherry tomatoes.
Those are habaneros, really? Well, you guys built
no
up
problem. Dude, I'm not kidding. I eat Carolina Reapers. They're like with my eggs. I make Carolina Reaper sauce. I put it on my eggs and bagel in the morning, and I eat that. Delicious.
Jeez, napalm, bro. Your daddy says we should change the G out for Gooner. We got. I forgot where I was.
You were reading.
Paris said that he's bummed that FanFest isn't here, but hopefully the big events happen later this year. And IGN has IGN Live. They did it for the first time last year, and it's all right. I was hanging out there with Yodani and everybody, and you can play a bunch of games and hang out, and you can get some free swag. No, you can't say swag anymore. Nobody says swag anymore, do they? That was like last decade.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. You know, we should have a meetup at some point.
I wanted to tell you about this story. I don't know if you guys remember Gaming Forte. He's been on the show a couple times. He's a good friend. We were hanging out with him in a party chat, and we were talking about age. And you're going to love this, Mag. He said something like, oh, you know, I'm as old as whatever. And I said, we're about the same age, aren't we? He goes, what? No way. He goes, no, we're not even close to the same age. I go, are you sure? And he goes, yeah. How old are you? And I said, I'm almost 49. He goes, oh, we're not even close to the same age at all. And I go, how old are you? He goes, I'm almost 46. I go, what?
Dude,
you're kidding me. You're giving me a bad time. You're 46. You're 1 foot in the grave. I said, when you go to bed tonight, tell me how many bones crack and how many joints like pop when you crawl into bed, you old piece of you old catcher's mitt. I couldn't believe that. He was calling me old. We gave him a hard time. Fawn's in the chat too. We're the same age. Fawn's and I are the same age. Yeah. We're like months apart.
You guys are a year younger than me.
He thinks he's 46. He thinks he's like just got out of his freaking fraternity.
Yeah.
His sorority.
Spring
more like
chicken at 46. Then 49, you're an old man. Yeah, I see how it is. Although I do find it funny when I do chin-ups, when I do my chin-ups for my exercise, when I pull myself up, I can literally feel every bone in my spine crack like a ring dinger. Have you ever seen that on YouTube when the guy does the ring dinger thing? He's like, turn your belly into jelly, and he pulls your neck with the friggin' towel, and you're like, oh, like the chiropractor. That's what it's like when I do chin-ups. Every time it's like,
don't let someone do that to you.
No, I would never do that. I do it to myself when I do my chin-ups.
You put your chin on the bar
play box,
let yourself go. Meg shuts his head shuts his head in the Tesla door and says, drive off, honey.
It's hard to drive off when I have activists burning it, but you know, what are you gonna
do? Painting things on it. Cyber Gunter says, I fall asleep during the movies and I'm 44. That's the worst.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't do that, man. I'm up. Like I watch stuff. I'm just up. No matter what.
Yeah,
like
Forte is younger than us. So next time you see Forte in a podcast or on his podcast, give him a hard time. He's a good friend.
Thank you, Double M. See, Double M's got it right. Seniors is at 65. Thank you very much. See, he gets it. There's no seniors rates at 60 or 50. It's 65 as a senior citizen. So just everybody calm down.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have to admit something.
What?
I'm a big time jerk when it comes to older people because it's my fault. But when I see like old people, like all gray hair and like they're walking real slow, I'm like, come on, man. Just like, come on. And I have this problem because
man.
I think what happened to me, Mag, is I feel like I'm 36, but I'm pissed because I know that I'm almost 50. And so when I see somebody older, I'm like, I'm never going to be old like that. There's no way. I'm never going to be like, what have you done to yourself? And then like in 2 years, I'll be like, my back. I don't know. I think I'm just cranky about it. I'm in denial.
Mark Twain said it, and he said, the biggest surprise to a man is old age. Because it's the biggest. Yeah, that's the true statement right there. The biggest surprise to a man is old age because you have an image of what you look like or what you think you look like or this and that or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm this and I'm that or whatever. And then all of a sudden, look at yourself in the mirror, going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so like, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, however, I also do look actually much younger than I appear, and I act obviously a lot younger too. So I know guys who are like 45 who are like hobbling around like senior citizens, and they're like totally out of shape and don't take care of themselves, and they look terrible. And I'm like, oh, dude is like 70 years old, and they're like, no, he's like 43, so, and I'm like, what?
What age do you lie to yourself and tell you really are? Like, do you have this number? Like,
I still think I'm in my 40s. So when I turn, I'm still like I just turned 50 like a month ago, but I'm just saying like, I still feel like in complete denial that I'm in my 50s.
Like a 42-year-old.
I still think that I'm in like my 40s, somewhere around there. And I could probably kind of coast through life being in my 40s. But like, it's funny, like when you talk to like, I have like a lot of like younger people that work for me and stuff. Some of them as young as like 16, 17, 18 years old. And I'm talking to them about whatever, this and that while we're working and stuff. And then I come to realize like after a few minutes, I'm like, am I just like the old guy that they just don't connect with? Right. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird, right? So it's like, you can't like, I want to go to a nightclub and get wasted and go dance and go have a good time. And then I'm like, are people going to laugh at me going, oh my God, that's the old guy that I used to laugh when I was 19. I go, look at those old guys over there. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh no, I'm that guy now. So like, I can't do that anymore. Right. I got to go to old people clubs if they even exist. Cause old people go to bed at like 9. Me, I go to bed at 2 a.m. on a good day, wake up at 6. Like a man.
I remember when when I was in college, I was like 22 and there was this guy, 2 guys that I hung out with. One was like 24 and I was like 22. And the other one was 28, and he was like, I remember it so distinctly. We're outside of one of the classes, nice day at college, and he goes, well, I'm like the same age as you guys. And he had a goatee, and he was like, his hair was receding. And I'm like, no, you're not. He goes, I'm 28. And I'm like, that's not even the same. And I remember like walking off like, wow, what a jerk I was. Because he was 28. Like he's so young in comparison, but he probably felt like he was still in his early 20s. And I'm like, no, dude, you're old, man. It's the worst.
That game right back there. You see that cabinet? That my Miss Pac-Man cabinet right there. Yeah. Look at it. Okay, that's 1982. I distinctly remember playing that at 7 years old, and it was my favorite arcade game of all time. Hence why I was almost in tears when I got it finally, because it was a lifelong thing for me to get Miss Pac-Man. Dude, that's 43 years ago. So like, jeez. You know what I mean? Like think about that. It's almost half a century old. And like, it's wild to me, right? You look at that stuff and you're like, I try not to think about that too much, but it's impossible. You start getting old, you start getting like emotional. You start getting like reminiscent of stuff. And you start going on Instagram and watching those like those 80s rewind videos, where they show
and it does the music
collages, and it's got the sad music. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you're watching
it. Makes me so nostalgic. Like, it shows like the
and then
lunch
you get nostalgic and you want to cry as you're lying in bed going, oh, it's over.
You know what?
And I'm like, hell no, it's not over.
I've been meaning to say this on the air for a long time. And I need to tell this to my mom and dad. But I really, truly believe I had the best childhood you could have. And I grew up in, how everybody says I grew up in the best generation? I'm sure my parents grew up in a great time too, or whatever. And anybody who's younger probably did too. But I am so grateful to grow up in the 80s and in the 90s. And I was having a conversation with my friend about how they said Gen X people like you and I are so cranky because we had a few records and then we're told to replace those with tapes. So all through like our middle school and junior high era, we bought all these tapes. And then we got into high school and they're like, nobody uses tapes. Now you need to get your music library on CDs. And we had the Case Logic, pop open the accordion. We had all those. And then we got out of college and you're like, well, no one uses CDs. It's all MP3s. We had to do our whole thing like that. We're ripping CDs. Right. And now everything is on my phone and I'm paying $18 a month to access it.
I know.
This is why we're pissed. But I'm so grateful.
Yeah, that's why we're pissed.
To grow up with Mrs. Pac-Man.
Yeah.
When I met my wife, when we were about to date, she had that cabinet in her house. Her parents bought it when it was like, 15, 20 years old or whatever. It'd been around for a while and you could buy them for like $800, whatever it was. I grew up with Miss Pac-Man. I grew up with Double Dragon. And then the audacity for you and I to sit here and bitch about Marathon not being the most amazing game we want to play. And it's like on a level of 5,000 times greater than whatever Pac-Man could accomplish in its time. And gamers are so cranky. Like we're just quick to hate everything and not give it a chance. Yeah. But the prices are rising. It's crazy.
Well, that's the thing. At the end of the Hargeet Chani, knock it off. Listen to Mag, you're half a century old with a nice big smile on his face.
So
enjoy the smile,
he's the same age as we are. He's
I know,
taking the piss on purpose.
Oh, I know he is. The thing is, we have to be a lot more selective. When you walked into an arcade, I mean, regardless of inflation and everything else, you can go back to 1982 to 86, and we're farting around in arcade. Well, 80, let's go with the mid 80s for now. And you walked in with a couple of bucks. Yeah, sure, a couple of bucks was a lot of money back then, right? But considering that like minimum wage at that time was probably about $2 an hour, maybe $2.25 an hour. So that was a couple of hours work to be able to walk into an arcade and, play some games. It still doesn't translate to now. It still doesn't even translate close to the price of a game as opposed to like, let's say how much you make an hour, that kind of thing. Not even close. And so like you're able to pop in a quarter for 25 cents and play a game and say, that's not for me. And then you could walk over to the next one and you could play and be like, this is awesome, and spend the rest of your money there or whatever. And you could be a little bit more. But when games start going up to like $145.77 per game, Nintendo in Canada specifically, then you really do have a right to start bitching a little bit and be like, hey, these guys are making $200,000 a year making these games. You better make damn well, and you're the ones who are causing the price increase. It's not the computer monitors and the engines and stuff. Some of that is.
No one's pushing against it. They're like justifying or they're giving answers why it's okay or why it was long overdue, and it's like just a little bit of pushback. Please, just a little bit.
Yeah, so that's all it is, man. It's like I said, I think that at these prices, I think we can be a little bit more picky choosy when it comes to these things and not accept mediocrity. And I've been seeing people, just whatever, man, just buy. Okay, whatever, man, just buy it. $100 for an average game, $106. I'm not paying that. And regardless of whether I can afford it or not, I'm going to be a lot more frugal with my spending outside, like, for example, okay. People can use things like, oh, well, there's Game Pass. You're still spending $200 and something US dollars a year in Game Pass, right? It's $25 a month here in Canada. That's a lot of money. That's like almost $300. You're still spending $300 a year, and you're still not getting access to the third-party games. You're still not getting access to PlayStation games. You're only getting the Xbox games and whatever deals they have worked out with other studios. Usually, at these days, most of it is like the indie stuff, right? They've kind of moved away from a lot of the AAA stuff from other studios because they own a lot of the stuff themselves, all these studios, right? So you're getting a taste of it for like $300-something a year. For me, like I said, if I'm going to go spend money on a game, it damn well better be like a hot game. I'm not going to go experiment with Marathon. You know what I mean? I'm not going to spend $80 and be like, well, let's see if I like it. For $80, are you out of your mind? Not a chance. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think we've earned, I think at this point, not to be a-holes about it, but I think we've earned the right to be a lot more critical for the prices they're charging. That's like going out and buying an effing car What are you gonna spend? 80 grand, 60 grand, 70 grand for a car? I don't know how much you guys cars cost in the US. A lot less than what we pay. But you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, I'll just see if I like it. What? Or are you going to be incredibly critical of the car you buy because it's an investment?
That's why I said,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, if you can get access, like easy access to South of Midnight, like if you already have Game Pass or you see it on sale for 20 something, you definitely should jump on and play South of Midnight. But for $40, you know, the more I think about it, you could probably get $40 with enjoyment out of South of Midnight pretty easily. But, you know, you do have to be, I think you have to be a little bit, you do have to be frugal, especially now. I got to read this super chat that I missed here from Nikki Z. Thank you so much for sending this and reminding me. Thank you for catching it. Said Nikki says, I was finally able to catch the show live. Just wanted to let you know I put 110 hours into AC Shadows on my dead Xbox. Quote, weird Twitter told me Xbox was dead. Thank you for writing that. And I meant to address that when I saw your super, because today they announced that AC Shadows, Mag, is the third top selling game in 2025 behind Monster Hunter Wild and probably, they didn't say the first one, but I think it would be Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I mean, those two games did really, really well, but it's number 3 behind Monster Hunter Wilds. The game that everyone said was dead, no one was going to play, and that, there weren't enough players on Steam. I'm really glad I played it. I enjoyed it. I got 80 plus hours into it before I stopped.
I look forward to playing Assassin's Creed in 2026.
Right. Yeah. Oh, unless that Hexen comes out, then you're going to have to.
Oh, dude, day one. I don't care. I don't care if it's broken. I don't care if the game's broken. Just give it to me. I want a Coven game. I want a Coven game with witches set in the southern United States, and I want it to be a horror Assassin's Creed game with witches. Yeah. If you can't give me that, then Tencent better get. I'm going to talk to the guys at Tencent and be like,
I don't know how much Tencent's going to.
I will what they do or
them. We'll see.
I will make them make that game.
I can't wait. Bull
Anyways,
super fan.
Shadows.
Shadows
2026. I look forward to it for $30. Papa Paco, knock it off.
I looked at Outlaws today because I know you're still playing it, and I'm like, I think I'm ready. And they're going to do a big update this month. It's still full price. I looked everywhere. Still full price.
What? It was just on sale.
Well, I missed it.
I just saw it on sale. It was on sale on PlayStation, and now it just went on sale on Xbox just a little while ago. I don't have my phone, so I can't check it on me right now.
I'm going to play that on PC.
It's so good, man. I can't stop playing it. I500F in the chat. I know you said I want Black Flag 2. You're not going to get that, but you are going to get the ground up remake of Black Flag. That's coming at some point. I don't know. At some point.
Yeah, I wonder if that's next year and then Hexen's after that, because
I don't know what the hell happened to that. We had a lot of chatter on that game. That and Splinter Cell. Well, I mean, I have more intimate knowledge of Splinter Cell, but there was a lot of chatter going on even more publicly about Splinter Cell and Black Flag Remake, and then it just disappeared. Both of them just disappeared right off the map. I got to reach out to some of the people at Ubisoft, see if they find out what the hell's going on. Get some info, man. It's been a while. I'd be like, yo.
Sorry.
No. Sorry. What were you saying? You should get what?
No. Dova in the chat says, get Ubisoft Plus, and I'm trying to write, but the browser tab there he goes. Reload.
Okay. Good.
Chrome uses so much RAM that it will like lock up while I'm watching. I'm not going to write that.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's using 426 megs right now for just watching a YouTube video.
Jeez.
I should move to something else, but I don't want to log into a million things on a new browser, so I'm being lazy. Bull super fan, thank you so much. What's that?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll address this in a second. Yeah, go ahead.
It's funny because I talk over you all the time, and
my wife
was using. Yes, I do. She was using the headset, and she was on a call with That Blue Number, and she talked over a couple times. I said, "See, like there's that little bit of latency across Discord. It's a microsecond, but it like." Sorry.
Yeah, it causes a little bit of a thing. So no, we've navigated around that pretty good. What I was going to say there is, where is he? Is Carrie Taylor in the chat? He's saying, when did Canadian games cost 140 plus Canadian? We aren't there yet, Mag. Are you including taxes? Yes. Now here's the thing. what I was talking about, it was Nintendo. If this is a big if, they decided to charge $90 US for the physical games.
They already are.
Then it would. All right. Well, then it'd be 145. It'd be 145.77. That's with tax here in Ontario.
Yeah, that would
regular
be,
games. Yep. Go ahead.
I'm going to get you the conversion before tax. That would be $125 Canadian before tax, and there is a $90 Nintendo game, but I think it counts.
Oh, there you go. No, there you go. Then that's what it is. And then if the other game.
Are you ready? 2017's Breath of the Wild, an 8-year-old game with the $20 DLC, which is fine. You could tack that onto the price, but they're charging you a $10. Here's the two things wrong. They're charging you a $10 next-gen fee on a console hardware you already bought that should already facilitate your extra graphics and frame rate. They're charging you $10 for that. I know that PlayStation's done that as well. They're charging you a $10 next-gen fee. But the worst part is, and I do not want to hear anybody defend this, that freaking Breath of the Wild game is still $60 standard. It's its launch price. 8 years later, they're like, here's a physical edition with, I think it's physical edition, or maybe it's digital. Doesn't matter. There's no, I don't mean, whatever. Nintendo, stop it. $90 for an 8-year-old game with a next-gen port when you already spent $450 for the console. This isn't a Nintendo show. But we need to not excuse stuff like that. PlayStation fans pushed against the next-gen upgrade, and PlayStation's like, okay, this one we're not charging you, but moving forward, you at least got the W on that one. Chip Jimmy, welcome to the early access.
Nice. Thank you when we get $80 games, I'll be paying $126.99. Yeah. I did all the conversion plus tax, the 13% tax we pay on top of the games, and of course the exchange rate. So I'm paying $126.99 for $80 games coming out. $90 games, as we had said, already even much higher. But anyways, that's that. But it sucks. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it. We'll see how this goes moving forward. It's
fine. Man. I know that they don't normally put their games on sale. They hold their value and they just hold to that because it's a great way to make money. But I mean, as gaming fans, like, we're consumers. We're not waving a flag. Hey, my console sold the most because they kept the prices up and we're an elitist. Like, be a consumer. Like, ask for better. And for an 8-year-old game, you should be asking. You can find it on sale. It's been on sale many times, but that's the going rate right now. It's the MSRP. And MSRP stands for something I probably shouldn't even say live. But where was I? Oh, Bull Superfan, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, Certain Affinity's still working on Halo? I don't think they are. I think that's kind of been whatever they were doing, I think was actually canceled. Or that they stepped off the project because maybe because of Halo Studios, like kind of
Halo Studios was formed. So they've absorbed everything now.
Yeah. Hargy Johnny, thank you so much for the 5. Says, sorry, Mag, some senior discounts start at 50. You can join AARP at 50.
Perfect.
Welcome to old age. Do they have AARP
Outstanding.
in Canada?
I'm sure they have a version of, yes.
Do they have WKRP in Canada?
Well, in Cincinnati, yes. Yes.
Right.
Cincinnati in Canada, yes.
Dude,
yes,
we're so old. Like, that show was too old when we were kids.
50 years old.
We weren't supposed to be watching that, were we? It was kind of an adult show? Or was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then when they did the re-release, because of the licensed music, they had to remove all the licensed music from the show. So you can't even watch the original because they played real songs on the show, right?
What was the name of
years later,
the DJ with the beard and the long hair?
I can't remember his name. Oh, damn it, it's on the tip of my tongue.
It was like a hot, cool name.
Yeah, I know, it was an awesome name. Damn it, I don't remember. Anyway, the thing is, when they re-released it, like on DVD and everything else, that's it.
Do you remember what it is? The whole name?
No. Johnny, I can't remember. Go for it.
Dr. Johnny Fever. Yeah.
Fantastic name.
Oh my gosh, we're so old. I'm not going to do that again. Yeah. That's it. That's the show. That's
the show, folks.
That's the show. I had a good time. Meg, thank you so much, bro. Johnny,
that was a more shooting the breeze. Yeah, That was more of a shoot in the breeze kind of show. It was kind of fun. We got through a lot of topics, a lot of things in there, but we also just had some fun just talking about random stuff. That's kind of cool. I enjoy that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of like sitting around having a couple of drinks or whatever. And
you guys
having a couple of drinks of 4XP, ladies and gentlemen. That's what having some drinks of 4XP while we're doing the show, and then we just keep talking. That's all.
Just learn from a couple of old sacks just sitting here in front of a camera and talking about gaming. We appreciate you. Papa Baco comes in with a $5 super chat right in the ninth inning, slides into home plate, takes out the catcher, says, "Relax, Mag. You'll be paying the same prices as us in the USA as soon as you get your as soon as you're the 51st
as soon as you become the 51st state. I'm already half American as it is. It's really no different."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me see.
I'm like an hour and a half. I'm an hour and a half from the border, literally. I'm like practically a border town. I mean, I'm an hour and a half from the Niagara Falls border.
I got to figure out a way for us to do a weekend hangout. I'll make my way up to
100%. We got to do something.
Toronto.
We'll figure something out. We got to figure something out. At some point.
with the 2 says physically 40, emotionally 14. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, dude. I'm all for that, man. I'm all for that. I'm all
and
for that.
Make it simple. Thank you so much for the $2. Says, "Come on, Cole, walk faster, move, geezer." I know. I think that in my head sometimes. I'm like, "Come on, I got things to do." And then in 5 years, I'll be like,
walking. Yeah, right, dude. I walk so fast, it's insane.
Yeah,
it's like I'm sprinting. It's ridiculous. But I also do a lot of cardio exercise, so my legs just move on their own. And then of course I worked almost my whole life on my feet, right? So it's like always moving. I don't think I'll be able to ever stop. That's just
when you're in line at the hardware store, do you scratch your nose like this?
And they're like, "Look at that dude. They're like, look at that dude. He's sniffing his armpits."
Pulls like the jacket of the lady in front of him. Is like,
yeah. Rubbing my face on her jacket. I'm like, well, it looked kind of ruffled. It'd be good for the scratch. I had to itch this scratch here. Yeah.
Nice burlap jacket. Works great on my itchy skin.
Oh my goodness.
I was working on a video. I started writing one about a really big franchise and like a cool idea that could actually bring it back quickly. I need more information, so I don't know what my video content is this week, but Mag has been cranking out news. I messaged him about Mafia because Mafia got like a preliminary release date, and Mag's like, "I'm going to go make a video." So go check out his channel. It's in the description at The Mag Show. The Mag Show will give you news as quickly as possible. He cranks out these videos in like 10, 15 minutes and just tells you everything you need to know. So go sub.
Yeah.
Tell everybody where else they can find you besides at The Mag Show on YouTube.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, you can find me at The Mag Show, obviously. As Colt once said, you'll see the links and all that there. I do a bunch of stuff. I got my South of Midnight Marinated review came up, finally. I also do TV and Hollywood. Do all that stuff with, and of course, most of it, 90% of it, video games. But it's all there. I will be reviewing The Last of Us each episode as they come along. That review will be coming out tomorrow. As I do each episode for the entire season, for season 2. And then, of course, gaming news as it comes across my plate. And so it's been awesome. Everybody's been so supportive and so wonderful and just been so great. So I broke my own record, I guess. My video about the Oblivion remake drop, a shadow drop. I ended up getting 5,500 views on that. I mean, for some people, they're like, "Oh, well, whatever." But 5,500 views for me is huge, man. So that's
how many
pretty
subs
big.
Are you at?
Just under 1,400.
Yeah, that's a big video. That's 4 to 5 times your subscriber base, which is a big deal. Really big deal.
And I've only had the channel for a few months, so that's great. I just want to keep it growing. I'm going to keep going, man. And like I said, it's just going to be just going off the cuff, fast, no rehearsals, just me talking, getting the information out there. No pants, no shirt. Just getting the information out there and having a good time doing it. But you can find me there. You can find me on Twitter, of course, as well. You can find me on Xbox and PlayStation. I am the Mag, all one word. You know where to find me. But either way, everybody have a great week. We'll talk to you all very soon. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody. Hit the like button on your way out. You'll find me here, as always, and on Twitter saying absolute nonsense. Have a good one, guys. We're out.